Hello, Legionnaires, and welcome to episode 235 of RPG Digest. I am John Maxley Auschlow. Along with me today are Brett, Ethan Dog Grismer, Kevin, Boom I think it's supposed to be Splugorth Simbita now. I'm just saying. And Jeremy, I just put on here the Colonel because the first time I saw his name, I thought that was Colonel Antonio. Oh, that's reading literacy for the win. So I'm calling him the Colonel now. Jeremy, was it Colantonio? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Who join us for another episode of Gamer Talk. Today we have 3 segments. First, we have a deep dive into Rift's Promise of Power Reforged crowdfunder on Backerkit. After that, we'll take a quick look at the Savage Phase Worlds Kickstarter, and we'll wrap up the show by picking Kevin's brain as to how he runs games for 20 or more people. 8 is my maximum. I tried 10. There's no way in heck I'm going to be doing 20. That's crazy talk. But we will find out. He actually put in the Rift Game Master Guide 32. I just don't believe it. That's not even a real number. It's like saying trillions of dollars. Nobody can understand that. Right. As always, we're extremely grateful you are here with us today and sincerely thank you for your time and support of Legion of Myth and Palladium Books. Please consider supporting Legion of Myth or its charity, the Wounded Warrior Project, through the links in the live stream's description. Or if you're watching this after the live stream ends, click that donate button next to the video. Rumble rants and super chats of less than $20 will be read at the end of each segment, while those of $20 or more I will read as immediately as I can, and you know the deal. I'm not going to interrupt, but we won't derail the conversation. We'll get to them right away. If you're feeling extra generous, a super chat or Rumble rant, stay with me here, of $100 or more, that's right, the numbers changed for today, I will take a drink in your name, and you can force us to answer any tabletop RPG gaming-related question of your choice right then and there. To give a little something back to those of you who do support us, if we reach $100 or more in Super Chats or Rumble Rants, there will be a $50 Palladium Books giveaway, Hunger Games style, because we like to murder each other towards the end of the live stream. And we sincerely thank you very much for your kind donations. Lastly, special shout out to our new viewers. I hope you enjoy this live stream. Share it with your friends and come back to join us again in the future. And I don't know why StreamYard's giving me a big error right now. Give me 1 second, and then I'll get this crap off the screen. Go away. There we go. Hey, now you can see. Did you see that Heathen Dog the error StreamYard was given?
No, it didn't come up for me.
Just me. Apparently, we're not streaming to one of our places. Whatever. We're on YouTube, and we're on Rumble. That's what matters. By the way, Rumble folks, I'm not looking at chat right now. I'll get that up in just a moment. But let's first and foremost say hello to the new guy here. Hello, new guy, Jeremy.
Hi.
Can you quickly tell us who?
No, that's Sean with Working Rogaine.
Okay. Well, Sean, how are you doing today? And how's Taiwan?
Don't answer, we already know.
Yeah, just quickly for the folks out there, give them a little blurb about who you are, what you do, why you're here today, and not Sean. What's going on?
Unfortunately, Sean's a little under the weather, and with pulling that wonderful marathon we did on Tuesday and not sleeping that much, I stepped in for him. That is just killing me. My name is Jeremy Colantonio, though. I am currently the Palladium Books operations manager, helping Kevin and Sean and everybody kind of juggle as much as humanly possible, getting all those the little things that never get done and out of the way. So kind of helping keep things moving. And it's a blast. I come from an incredibly busy and brutal IT world, so this is actually a totally different industry and pace for me, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Whoa. Come on. You can't do that here. Everybody knows that Kevin runs a sweatshop, and you cannot allow that illusion to be changed here. Otherwise, what's going to happen is going to be like, what? There's time to do something else. Write more books.
Yeah. You just set Kevin up for a whole bunch more comments about, oh, you got all this time. It's such a lax work environment. Why aren't you putting out?
No. I'm not going to mention. I can't mention the there's no sweatshops. There's no voodoo doll with my hair around it that Kevin will stab repeatedly if I ever bring up reality. No, that's not how any of this works.
Oddly specific.
That's what I was thinking.
and we know why Sean is in Thailand. He's replenishing the workforce.
Wow. Well, this stream has just gone places.
Hey, Apple has got nothing on Palladium.
Oh,
Oh my God. Why do we come?
I thought we were getting into Silicon.
Tell me what we were supposed to talk about today. I'm confused now.
Derailed.
And of course, once again, we have Kevin. Thank you very much for coming back. I know you've been crazy busy, unlike what was just reported. You've been crazy busy working a lot of things. So appreciate both you guys giving your time for us today. Just real quickly, what other podcasts have you been on that you want to shout out the things that we've been talking about today? Obviously, you've done your own. Have you hit the Glitter Boys up yet for talking about more of this?
Well, they did their initial interview, and we haven't done a follow-up yet. I think Sean and someone else was tentatively scheduled to appear on their show.
Okay.
And then, we've got a couple of things up on the Palladium YouTube channel with more coming, like an interview with Shane Neville, who was the original producer of the Rift's Promise of Power video game. And Sean, I think, is supposed to be on there, and a couple other. We reached out to a couple of other creators, like the main artist and the main game designer, and it's my understanding that they're both happy to come on and do interviews. So, they should be appearing. And then, that's been part of the problem, is finding platforms to do interviews on and to talk the thing up. So.
Well, I'm both excited to talk about this again and just a touch concerned because we did such a good job last time. I've received like a whole ton of messages from people saying, dude, I already backed it. I can't back it a second time. Well, you can. It's called make another account.
Yeah, double accounts, man.
Or increase your pledge.
Or increase your... Yeah, just throw more money at it. I mean, the government does it to solve problems. You can solve this problem too.
So I think I just, whatever happened. So, I do want to say that, all of us knew going in that this was something very new and different for Palladium and our fans, and that it would either, sink or swim. And, if it doesn't take off, we'll have to sit down and think about it and pivot. There may be other ways we can do it. If we end up, stopping it and restarting it again next year, or, letting it go on.
You just took away one of my questions.
Sorry.
Kevin always does this to me. He's like answering my questions before I even get to him and ask him. It's like he's psychotic. I mean, psychic.
Psychotic and psychic, yes.
Yes, on both accounts.
No, that actually is an important thing. And before we dive into it, I know I kind of interrupted you there. We also have a super chat to get to if you want to complete that thought, because that is a concern that I've kind of heard is like, that's a lot of money that they want. And while it worked for TMNT, there's a lot of backing with TMNT from Paramount and so forth. If they don't have that same backing here, like, what are they going to do? I mean, is there like a benefactor maybe behind the scenes that, hey, I'll chip in $100K if you're close? Is there, are there other alternatives? Like you said, maybe step back and rethink it. What is the thought process here? If on the weird and horrible, God forbid, idea that it doesn't hit the 700,000.
So first of all, I mean, one of the issues here is that we need the 700,000. That's not a like, man, we want this. We hit 700,000. Sean can spend a year in Taiwan, and I can take a 2-month vacation, and nothing like that. We actually need that money to get the game made. So that puts us in a rough spot as far as making that particular product. And then, it was worth the risk. It's worth the chance to take it. We got the word out there. We may just have to, look at different ways to relaunch it later if it comes to that. We're not really thrown too much by it. Whenever you publish anything, it's a risk. In the early days, I remember, Palladium really took off, and we were kicking ass. And my attorney makes the comment to me, we had some new project coming up. Heck, it might have been Rifts even. And he goes, well, Kev, you're a risk taker. And I'm like, I'm not a risk taker. And he's like, what are you talking about? He goes, you're always taking risks. You took a risk on Ninja Turtles. You took a risk on Robotech. You're taking a risk on, just starting your own company. You're taking a risk doing this big, science fiction, fantasy, multi-genre game that you don't even know if people, will want or love or anything. And I'm like, oh, but it never seemed to me as a risk because it's always a calculated risk. And we sit down, we crunch the numbers, and we say, look, if this thing tanks, does it put the company out of business? No. Does it hurt the company severely? No. So let's give it a run and see how it goes. Did it cost us some money to do all this? And yeah. And that's why we're not going to just let it die. Plus, we love it. The video game is freaking great. And the weird thing is, I really think it's that people aren't hearing about it because the people who have backed or watched the crazy 8.5-hour live stream we did, they're like all in. I mean, all in. They're super excited. They can't wait. I've talked to a number of people who haven't backed yet who are like, I love this. It's fantastic. I can't wait. I want the Glitter Boy statue. I want that coalition flag or the dice or whatever the hell. And it's like awesome. And yet, it's not exactly flying out the door, the pledges. And, we'll have to see. And I'm hoping there might be a slow build. But it's only been 1 week, not even 1 week. It'll be 1 week on Tuesday. So, we'll have to sit down then and assess what's going on and see exactly what we're going to do. But, we're still cautiously optimistic. And, if we do stop the crowdfunder at some point or extend it for like months and months, because apparently with Backerkit, you can extend your pledge duration. We don't know yet. We have to explore options. I haven't talked to Sean. We all said, let's wait and see how things look on Monday or Tuesday.
If you're close, extending is a good idea. But,
Exactly.
If you're not, you're like, okay, no one wants it. So
Right.
There it is, right? Yeah,
or it's just not, this isn't the right platform or time to do it, right? It's not necessarily
the right time. There's a lot of different variables. I mean, me and Alex have been talking about that and a couple other friends. There could be a lot of things going on. The uncertainty in the world right now, the economy, all kinds of different things. And it could be that, as much as we think this video game is awesome, maybe our audience doesn't want it. And maybe we really do need to find a way to reach video gamers. And we haven't seemed to be able to do that yet. So, it's all part of doing business, man. And this is, so what everyone is getting to see is sort of like the crap we deal with on a regular basis, where you're always assessing and reassessing and pivoting to make things work or get projects out or replacing projects that have, floundered for one reason or another, whether it's the creative team or the quality or, cost rates increases or tariffs or EU regulations and all kinds of crap. This stuff just happens all the time. And on this particular Kickstarter, you're seeing some of that. So, we'll assess things and see where we're going. But right now I think we're all a little disappointed because the game really is great. And that Glitter Boy statue is like unbelievable. And, but we'll see where it goes.
Well, before I read the first super chat here, I'm just going to put this out there. I know that there are going to be folks who watch this. A lot of you have YouTube channels, Twitch channels, whatever, podcasts. Heck, maybe even the written word is still a thing these days. I don't know. I would suggest reaching out to Kevin, Sean, Jeremy, and getting them on your podcast. Work out the details and so forth, and let's get this promoted more. I know there's some very big channels. When I say big, I guess in YouTube terms, they're small. To me, they're giant. Of like 100,000 people who I could envision them, or 100,000 subscribers, I can envision them covering this. So hopefully, if one of you, or if you know somebody who is a YouTuber, podcaster, send this to them. Say, hey, you need to get Kevin on. You need to get him to talk about this stuff. I love having Kevin here. I've also told him, if somebody out there with 100K subs decides that he wants to do something on a Sunday and you have to bail on me, I will hold it. I mean, I understand because it's for purposes of business, right? So there we go. That's my call for folks out there because I want to see Kevin, Sean, Jeremy in more places. So.
Yeah, us too. And we would love to see Riffs get out into, other mediums. It's a great setting. It's fun. Everyone who's played it, what it is. And yeah, so please spread the word. Don't underestimate the word of mouth or the written word. And if you know people who have YouTube channels or podcasts, yeah, let them know about us and have them reach out, and that'd be great.
And I'd even say, for our haters out there, think about it. If you get Kevin and Sean and Jeremy on your channel, maybe they disavow us and you win. There you go. All right, let's read a couple of these super chats here. One before the show even started. Polly.
No, I got this one.
There you go.
Should we allow John Schlow, this guy, to shill his TTRPG to Palladium Books after what Heathen Dog said about the game last week? What did I say about his game other than that it's completely done and he's just hiding it because he has shame? I don't know. Vote now, yes or no. This is mandatory to tell Kevin and Sean, in this case, Sean/Jeremy, to make the game under the Palladium book license. Now, that would be a big get for you and a horrible disappointment
for Kevin.
Yeah. That would be a horrible disappointment. But he'd get it for cheap. But cheap doesn't mean good.
Yeah, I'm doing it on my own dime. There you go. That's how cheap it is. Just for an update, a quick update, because we're not talking about me today. I completely overhauled the character creation process yesterday because it was still working on some old information. So that's when I gotta test it. The thing is, I know how to test it in my head. I've got to test it word for word, which can sometimes be a little difficult for me, especially when you have a wife who's less than zero interest. Like, she would rather I'd be doing anything else, but no. So it is moving along, but it's moving along slowly. But not having a Friday stream has helped me. So I'm getting more stuff done. I'm also finding myself relaxing more, getting more stuff done at home. Oh, you can't see the mess over there because I was building some shelves and so forth. So I'm actually just getting a lot more stuff done, including the book. So I appreciate that, Poly Robotics. And of course,
hang on. There is a follow-up. This is in response from Poly to your saying that, oh no, it's got to be $100 donation for me to drink. You changed it after I made my super chat, and I agree. That's
you tell me I have to drink?
That's cheap.
Fine.
You should have taken a drink. There it is.
Just for Poly Robotics.
Yeah. From now on, it's 100. But Poly literally got in before that rule was made. So
the way that rule is going to work in the future is it's 50 on the normal live streams, but when we have a guest like Kevin Sean, because people like to super chat to get their points in there.
See, even he's calling you Rogaine Sean.
Well, it's normally Kevin and Sean. I'm talking about the gamer talk thing. Okay, in this case, Kevin and Jeremy.
Name, Max.
You guys would you'd turn me into an alcoholic before the stream's over. But here you go, Poly Robotics. Thank you very much.
I'm pretty certain you're already an alcoholic.
Hey!
Wow.
Oh.
You don't know me yet, sir. To be so honest.
I don't hear you saying no.
These guys. All right, let's get to the next. I'm gonna knock out the super chats first, Heathen Dog, and if you want to hit those other ones that you started after that, go for it. David, what's it? Nemosek says, Max, Heathen Dog, when an OH, what's an OH?
Open
Ohio?
house.
Oh, okay. When an open house is set in stone. Sometimes in the future, will you go to? It's easier for him because he lives right next door.
Well, yeah, I still haven't gotten there in like 15 years.
Where do you live?
I live in Oak Park, Michigan. I live like 30 minutes away, tops.
And he used to live literally next door.
I grew up in Westland. I grew up in the corner of Wayne Road and Cherry Hill.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Do you realize something, Heathen Dog? I think you moved out of that area about the time they moved in.
Yeah.
They gentrified
What are you
it
trying
for
to say?
You gentrified it.
I had to go to the military. What are you talking about?
And then we have one more super chat here from a Cosmonaut. You know what? I'm going to start. Cosmere. Oh, are you a Brandon Sanderson fan? Hey, Kevin. My friend pointed out that you can see what looks like the SDF-1 in the Cityscape picture in the Atlantis book. Is there a story behind that?
What?
I don't know what you're talking about. I can neither confirm nor deny. No, yes, it's really just sort of fan fun, just one of those little Easter eggs. The artist Newton Yule, who did that illustration, was a big Robotech fan, as are we. So he thought it'd be fun. It was so detailed. He wondered how many people would see it. And by the way, lots of people notice it. So, and that's the whole story. It's not like, oh, Robotech's being ported into Rifts or Atlantis or anything like that.
But you could.
New Atlantis book?
Do you believe it? So while you're looking that up, Heathen Dog, on the Tuesday stream, Kevin, Mr. Imagination shot down my idea.
Uh-oh.
What's your favorite Rifts character? Like OCC, I said the Cyclone Rider.
Well, I was thinking very Rift specific, but you're right. You can bring in anything from any. It's a Megaversal game, right? You can bring it in,
Right.
bring in any character from any of our books, any book, any movie, anything.
I was telling him though, a Cyclone Rider would be amazing in Rift because you've got this powered armor that is so good for reconnaissance, right? So when you're traveling the wilderness or the wastelands of the Pecos Badlands and whatnot, like having a Cyclone Rider in your group is amazing because they can find trouble and identify it before it ever gets to your group.
Yeah, Jeremy was so excited. I think his next Rift character will probably be a Cyclone Rider.
Yes.
Or something very similar to it.
Max for the win. All right, Heathen Dog, you want to knock out those other chats? Chats. Wow, I am drunk. Chat so that we can get to our actual topic.
All right, here we go. Walter MC says, hey, with Jeremy on board, Palladium can move forward with releasing Mechanoid Space on the 40th anniversary of its original projected release date. Good dig. No. That was a good dig. That was a good one.
Yeah, you never know.
Never know. That means no.
And no one said that there's less work. I'm just making things move. I'm not. It doesn't mean I'm like actually getting anything done.
I'm not getting anything done. I'm just moving shit around. Okay, you should not talk on stream anymore. All right. And then Morgan says, I went in for 350. This is a promise of power. Hope you can make it, but we'll be back. I'll be back again if it relaunched. That's good.
Thanks, Morgan. We really appreciate your pledge and appreciate that you'll be back if we.
And we need that flag for me, the coalition flag.
I already ordered. We'll just say my Backerkit is
replace this every time Kevin's on. I would replace this with the coalition flag because I got to represent like he does.
And I'd be okay with that. Just so people know, I backed it at a high enough level that no matter what, he can get a flag. So there you go. And then there's a last super chat, and then we'll get to our topic here that popped in. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm a huge Sanderson fan. So I got through the first 3 books. I thought they were amazing. The 4th book slowed down. I've started and stopped this 5th book like 4 or 5 times. I cannot get into it. I don't know why.
Are you talking about the series with all the like metallurgists and whatnot? Or?
Stormlight Archive.
Oh, Stormlight Archive. Okay.
Okay, all right, so let me get this on the screen here, and then we are going to talk about Rift's Promise of Power. Again, I think 90% of the people who are here already know about it, but you know what? Maybe we can find that one nugget that you didn't know, and I guess I'll do
And the one guy who's secretly rich and will say, hey, what? You get as much money as you can, and I'll fund the rest?
Just as a side note, I backed it with my personal account. Now with the Legion Myth account, I know people in chat go, you didn't back? Yes, I did. Just can't let my wife know how much I backed it for.
I let my wife know I backed it, so shush.
Not for the amount that I backed it for.
Keep it on the download.
If you have a Backerkit account and you have followers, which most people do on it, even just backing, like if you want to just back it for $1 so your followers can see our project, let me know. I can send you a collaboration link where your other account can back it for $1 and help us get more visibility.
Oh, well, that's actually kind of cool. Yeah, I'll back it for $1 with the Legion Myth account here.
All right, I'll send you a link on that.
Sweet. All right, well, one of the things that I've learned from folks is that they either really love it that we read these word for word or really hate it that we read these word for word. I can't please everybody.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to put out the highlights, though. And so I think for now, I don't think I have to read this intro part, but what I will do for both Jeremy and Kevin is, can you give us a quick rundown of what is Rift's Promise of Power and why are you remaking this?
So way back when, in like 2004, we cut a licensing deal with the Nokia company, who was coming out with a very cool, at the time, revolutionary game platform that was both basically a Game Boy and a phone. and they had all these really cool games, of which Riff's. Who's drinking here, Max? Me.
See, you're in my head. You're getting the effects.
So they licensed Riffs. They put a ton of money into it. They hired really quality people to develop this game for the N-Gage. And it was a fabulous little game. It's got like 30 hours of play. If you play all the different run-throughs and variations, it's more like 63 hours of play. The music's cool. The characters, for the most part, are really loyal to Riffs. It really captures the Riffs world. It won awards. It just was this great game. And then the problem was the N-Gage platform failed. And so this wonderful game comes out, and like in my memory, it was a couple days later or a week later, Nokia announces that the N-Gage will no longer be supported. And like overnight, you couldn't get an N-Gage, you couldn't get a Rift's Promise of Power. And it was a real shame because it's truly a wonderful game. I mean, it really does capture the feeling of Rifts. You travel from North America to England to Germany and NGR and China, and you're battling all kinds of villains. There's like 50 different villains. It's, and it's all Rifts, or predominantly Rift stuff. You fight gargoyles, you fight, a broadkill, you fight all kinds of, creatures, the coalition. It's just really good. And plus, if you look at that little icon there, the guy who actually has a little color in his hair and mustache, that's me. Which they surprised me with. I'm like a shopkeeper who provides some kind of stupid information, and which I thought was very sweet and really nice. And so I always felt bad that this game never got to see the light of day, because I became friends with the people who put it together, especially the producer, Shane Neville. We had a great time on the Rift's Promise of Power European PR tour. And it was a great experience. It kind of went nowhere. So we're trying to bring it back because our association with a company called TransPerfect, they have the capability of going in and recoding it in Unity and make it available for the PC and other game platforms and in multiple different languages. And we thought, wow, this would be awesome. And it happens to be 20 years since the N-Gage was released. And we thought, wow, this would be really cool to launch this during the, its 20th anniversary. And plus it's Rift's 35th anniversary. So we thought this would be really a cool thing to do. So that's why we're trying to do it. And we thought fans would love it. And, again, because it's Rift's 30th anniversary or 35th anniversary, we thought, Sean was like, hey, let's do a Glitter Boy statue. Let's do, 4 different kinds of dice sets. Let's do the coalition flag. And a few other things. And so that's what we're trying to do. And, with your support, we can make it happen. So, again, please spread the word. You will love this game. Everyone who's ever played it that I know of who whether they knew Rips or not, has loved it. So, if we can, let's make it happen. And if not, we'll try again. But this story ain't over yet. Let's spread the word and get people pledging and see what we can do. It's only been 1 week.
Awesome. Yeah, well, let's actually look at, mentioned earlier already that the 700,000 is a hard number. We're at 132,000 now. Let's be honest. For a tabletop,
because I just backed it.
For a table that doesn't just like Kickstarter automatically. Yeah, it automatically.
Ah, dang it! All right.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So 132,000 for a tabletop RPG company putting out a video game. That's not bad. But
right.
as we were talking about earlier, 700,000 is kind of like that's the bare minimum. That's what's needed to make this happen. So the first 48 hours and the last 48 hours of a Kickstarter or crowdfunding in general, Backerkit in this case, they say is that is where you're going to make the Pareto solution of your money, right? The 80% of your money. I know that's true in most cases, but it's not true in 100% of the cases because I've actually witnessed some that just kept skyrocketing up.
Yep.
But those had excellent word of mouth. Hey, check this out. Hey, guys, on their Discords or their Guildeds, their Facebooks, whatever. I backed this. You need to back it too. Hey, I backed it too. Talking about yada, yada, yada. So my question, I have one for Kevin and Jeremy. I also have one for you out there, the audience. I'm going to do that one first, which is what are you going to do to help spread the word? Help spread the word.
We're doing whatever we can, man. We did that marathon 8.5 hour live stream. We've been reaching out to people left and right. We've sent emails and press releases to I don't know, something like 50 different companies and podcasts and that kind of thing. We're available whenever anyone wants us. We'll make ourselves available. We've done ads, we've done all kinds of stuff. I thought the page is beautiful. I thought Sean did a great job. Yeah. With it. I thought the add-ons were really cool. The information is really clear and clean. I loved the little thing about TransPerfect with all the companies they work with, like Blizzard and Konami and Ubisoft, and because a lot of people haven't heard of them. They're one of those companies that are usually kind of behind the scenes, and so a lot of people, I think when they heard about TransPerfect, they went, "Who?" But it's like $1 billion company that just bought Technicolor gaming division. So they're not nobodies. They're just one of those companies that's quiet in the background, and they were awesome. They gave us all kinds of support. So that's what we're doing. And if anyone can do, we also got a couple sales to help kind of get people excited. We've got a big
like everything riffs.
Pretty much everything. Not the Dimension books, but pretty much everything else, book-wise, and that sale's happening on the Palladium website, and a similar sale on Drive-Thru RPG for PDFs. So it's sometimes the best you can do isn't enough. But
this is why I was asking the question also to the public out there, or those people who are watching this, like, what are you going to do to help out? This is a call to action of some sort. Don't do it on my behalf. Do it because you're fans of Palladium. Get all those Discords, those Guilded servers that you haven't looked at in a while. Dust it off. Don't spam, folks. Nobody likes that. That'll get you in trouble. But mention it, promote it, tell, especially if you played it, tell people why you love it. Here's the thing that I've heard. Kevin said something a bunch of times. Sean said it last time that he was on as well, a whole ton of times. And I have to agree with them only in terms of what I heard, which is every single person I've talked to that's played the game says it's actually awesome. So I don't hear that about any game. You play that game? That game's dumb. I've heard nothing but good things about the game, other than the fact that it was on the N-Gage that nobody apparently ever owned. So, Full Metal Dragon, I'll get to your question in a little bit here. I want to piggyback on this TransPerfect thing. So some stuff came up. I've had people ask me in the background if I know anything about them. Like, no, I don't really pay too much attention to video games anymore. But one of the questions was, is TransPerfect making the game themselves, or is this something where they're like the producer and they're sending it to other developers?
So they will be, they have all, I think, kind of technically, I'm not sure how to answer that. Do you know, Jeremy? So TransPerfect is a big multi-global. It's a multi-global. They have several planets, Mars, yes. Different dimensions.
Social.
It is rich. Come on.
Right?
They're interstellar.
I don't know which of us have been drinking here.
It's not Wayland Yutani. Come on.
But
they have a bunch of studios and groups that are now part of their soup
under their umbrella.
Yeah,
there you go.
So
okay.
And so they are actually working for us. Palladium will be the publisher. And the cool why we can do it for as little as 700,000, because the game when 20 years ago cost like double that to make from scratch. And I'm told it would cost, like 4 times that today if it was being made from scratch. So the cool thing is we own all the assets, the art, the music, the story, et cetera, et cetera. So what TransPerfect is coming in and doing is they're taking that framework and building on it, tweaking it, they're going to upgrade the art. They're going to, code it in Unity for various other platforms. And yes, it's not like there's one particular big studio, but that's true of a lot of the video game companies. I mean, Ubisoft has studios all over the place in Shanghai and Hong Kong in the past and all over the place. So, they're going to bring in whatever people they need. And they've got, they're the ones who did the background art and like the scenes. They're the ones who did the cover art. That's the main piece that we're using to promote this. Their art team is freaking unbelievable. They just acquired the studio that did the artwork for Destiny.
Okay.
These aren't schmoes. These guys are top. And the thing is, I have to always be careful because we're privy to stuff under an NDA that I can't mention. I got to always be careful when it's like, well, what what's really significant thing can you point out? And it's like they're working on a couple AAA games right now.
Well, let me drink some more alcohol. You'll open your mouth.
But what the thing Kevin is saying right now is that he doesn't know how much manpower TransPerfect is actually putting into this or how effective it is. I mean, for all we know, it could be the Southeast Asian version of Fiverr that TransPerfect hired to actually do it. But you know what? Probably not.
And you know what? If it comes out with all the things promised, who cares if it was Fiverr?
Nice. The other advantage, Kevin, that you forgot to mention is that some of the people they have are familiar with the original language the Nokia wrote games in.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So
yep.
They've got developers familiar with the original platform. So, and they're familiar with how to take that platform and translate it into Unity.
Yes, but all of them have to put on their reading glasses.
Wow. Wow.
I'm going to look like Sean by the end of this podcast.
As a side note, I warned him in an email. Welcome aboard, sir.
That's right, Jeremy. Welcome to Legion of Men.
This is great.
Bust your balls and have a laugh and have a drink. And
no, I only said that because my wife recently had to get reading glasses, and I constantly make fun of her.
Kevin didn't tell me I could drink while I was on this. I find
No, he should tell you need to drink.
He didn't tell you can't.
Detail for missed Kevin.
Let's jump into some of the stretch goal. Again, we will look at. Generally, it's the game. Let's just put it that it's going to be the game. We can talk more about that, but one of the things that I really do want to push out here, actually, before we do stretch goals, we should actually look at what the different levels people can back at, what they get for that. And then we'll look at the stretch goals after that, because that makes a bit more sense. So let me go up here. Where was that? If my computer decides.
Stretch levels is actually one of the other tabs on there that you have to click up. There you
go.
So there you go.
So we got the digital nomad. Now this one seems pretty self-explanatory when it says a digital copy of Rift's Promise of Power Reforged for the PC. And there you go. That's what you get. You get the ones and zeros. You get to play the game. Now, I don't agree with this. I know I'm going to lose some subscribers for saying this, but I don't care. But I don't care about getting games off of Steam or GOG, or I don't do Epic, but things like that. No, I don't want digital anything. I need physical. Well, it's just not the way of the world anymore. With that said, are there plans for, I know it's a big question a lot of people have, are there plans for physical copies for anybody, maybe even at a higher level?
Well, we're talking to a company right now about providing that. But again, we don't know how far to go in our conversations with them, depending on, we need this Kickstarter to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, if
it's
after 48
successful,
hours
yes.
it was 500 grand, then he'd be talking to everyone and their mother.
Yes. But we are talking to one of the biggest companies that produces physical games. So yes, we would love to. The thing is, I mean, if you look at our stretch goals later, there's all kinds of stuff we want to do. We want to make it 100% high res, beautiful, epic art. We want a new music score. We want to have every freaking language on the planet.
Except for French.
But we have to get there first, and we have a ways to go. But everyone who's watching and your friends who don't know about this yet, until you tell them, you can help us get there.
For me, I'm actually, again, this is anathema in my world, but I've gone through, I found a whole ton of DVDs. I got VHS tapes sitting right there. Right now. I don't know what to do with it at this moment as I'm trying to kind of clean up some stuff. At this point in my life, I understand the idea when people go, well, digital can always be taken away from you. Not if you save it. But again, it's the way of the world. I'm trying to get rid of a lot of physical stuff. It's nice to have as far as like collector's items go. Look at this CD I've got from when this band did this one thing one time and had to change it. Things I've got a couple like that. But other than that, it's not a big deal for me, but it is a big deal for other folks out there. So, folks, back it. Give this some traction here, and probably a bigger chance or higher chance that will happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Now we go from.
I just did the digital Cyber Knight version.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
We'll get to that one.
Yeah, that'll be after Digital Adventure. We're still on the digital side. So this is where you get your NFTs. Digital Adventure. Download of Rift's Promise of Power. So we already had that video game soundtrack. There you go. You can play it while you're jogging at the gym or just hanging around the house.
I love the soundtrack. It's like addictive.
And if we get the stretch goal to upgrade the soundtrack, then this will include
It'll upgrade
all
this soundtrack
of
as well.
the music.
Right.
Yes.
Oh yeah, both. Yep.
Okay.
You'll get both.
How many hours of soundtrack music is there?
That I'm not sure about.
Okay.
At least 5 minutes. No, it's not long.
At least 5 minutes. Less than 48 hours, more than 5 minutes.
What was that from Rick and Morty? Oh, it's human music. Doot, doot, doot. I forgot what I was going to say after that, but it says a video game soundtrack, cover art, wallpaper, and Riff's short story analogy. That's actually a question that I was going to have for later. People are asking about turning this into other types of projects, like a short story anthology. Did I say an analogy before?
Yes, you did.
Anthology.
Yes.
I meant anthology. Reading, comprehend. You've been here before. You know that I can't read. So there we go. It's one of each, all in digital aspect again. So that means you can take that picture in a Photoshop and draw mustaches on it. Then we have the Heathen Dog level, which is the digital Cyber Knight, which is a little weird. I thought he would back the additional coalition officer. Maybe that's not on here. Rift's Promise of Power, game soundtracks, anthology, Rift's comic. You get a comic now. Machinations of Doom, and backer exclusive starting gear. So I'm is it
to win?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it pay to win? Are we cheating here?
Pay to win. Yeah,
No.
It's pay to win, people.
This
No,
is my mom.
no,
This is my mom enhancement.
Most likely, and if I'm wrong, we're just gonna kick Kevin off the podcast right now. But most likely, this is just nice, cool looking stuff, not like stuff that you'd have to grind 100 hours or 1,000 hours for to get.
Correct.
And you can just buy it now and screw you, other people. Probably not, right?
It is some decent gear, right? It's still low to mid game. None of it is game breaking at all. It's comparable to gear you can find in the game. It's just nice to have that out the gate, and kind of, so it's more of like, hey, this will help you with the beginning.
Okay, well, I am both appreciative and disappointed.
Both of those are valid.
Heathen Dog doesn't get to cheat at $75 to beat the game.
Nope.
All right, now, once you throw out a cool 100, you can start getting some physical stuff here. So what's this? All previous digital rewards, okay. Plus a Promise of Power poster that you can hang up. How big's that? Does it say how big the poster is?
It's 3x5.
11 by 17.
11 by
17.
17. Oh, okay.
3x5.
A lot of people
card,
don't like big. They don't like really big posters because they don't have a lot of wall space. So we go with a size that we know is very popular.
Right.
I disagree with that, but Kevin's right. I don't understand those people, though. If I have a poster, I hate trying to adjust like 19 little posters on my wall. Give me that big thing that just takes it. Thank God it took up my entire wall. I don't have to think about it anymore.
I'm there with you, but
it's not the way. You're right. It's just, it's not the way anymore.
Yeah.
And Heathen Dog missed out. He's going to have to up his package.
No, because you said you were going to give me one, which is why I didn't put it
as a good coalition officer, I cannot give that up, sir.
You have to. You said, you lying son of a bitch.
Does the coalition ever
because
tell
you're
us?
not a member of the coalition, it's not illegal for him to lie to you.
Wait, what?
Shut up, Colonel. See, you were a coalition colonel, but now you're going to be a Nazi colonel. Colonel.
Wow, this got real quick.
Wait, aren't those the same thing?
No, you son of a bitch. I'm fighting. Where are you located right now? Just for no reason.
I'm in Michigan.
Good.
Well, so is Heathen Dog. That's the point.
I'll find it.
I'm in Canton. Come get me.
Any physical threats are not representative of Legion of Myth or anybody who follows us. So please.
I endorse physical threats.
Made
Made by me, not against me, but made by me.
So a coalition state's flag is also in there for.
I always
for
have a
those of
hammer
you who
hand
want-
just in case.
Nice. Kevin's attitude adjuster.
Now let's
Sean
double
knows
that.
it.
Let's hit $200.
Uh-oh, here we
All
go.
previous, but you also get a backer exclusive hero portrait set. Please tell us more about that.
That.
So the hero portrait set. That's the that's still part of the art prints, right, Kevin? If I remember correctly.
It's a bunch of the portraits.
Yeah.
So
So
different classes.
The upgrade,
Yes.
yeah.
but it's the upgraded versions of them. So they're much better.
Oh, okay.
versions.
In case you don't meet the HD stretch goals, these posters are upgraded. Okay, got
Yes.
it.
Correct.
So it's something. To be fair, a lot of game playing one right now. Games do this, where if you buy like the definitive edition of the game or whatever, you get a few more portraits or a cooler looking gun or something like that. So that's normal stuff there. Promise of Power cover art gaming mat. Well, you know what? This mat here is getting a little abused. So I could use that. A Promise of Power art print set. Do you know how many prints are in that?
We typically have 5 or 6 in a set.
Okay. Perfect. A Promise of Power poker deck, because I need another one apparently to go with my Riffs poker deck.
That's
And
right.
who's designing that deck?
Sean.
Sean figured, okay.
No. Southeast Asian Fiber. Come on.
And I will show images of this later. I won't right now, but a Leyline liquid core dice set. By the
I
way,
almost put that as an add-on. I was like, I saw it. I'm like,
Heathen Dog.
Why didn't you?
No,
you need to, and here's why.
All of the dice should be in your add-ons.
Yes. No,
Well,
here's
I don't
why.
want the metal coated ones. They'll mess up my table.
No,
That's what you get a
I'm
mat
sorry.
play mat
I'm
for.
No, they're
That's
metal
what you get a
plated so
play
they
mat for.
and they're metal plated so they don't mess up your table. It's the full metal ones that'll break your table.
My table's pine.
I would be careful with the metal plated too, by the way.
But here's the thing, because I pay attention to this. These are real dice sets, Heathen Dog. These aren't that 7 dice set nonsense that they try to pass off as a full dice set. This said 9 dice. It means we're getting 3 6-siders like every man should have.
Yes.
Every man should have 3 6-sided dice, a pickup truck, and a loyal dog.
Well-
Every man should have that.
Well, it is not a dice set if you don't have 3 6-siders. Just that's the rule, and it's so hard to find full dice sets here. And guess what? I'm going to get 4 of them now.
Oh, wow.
So see if anybody can guess at what level I backed yet. So there we go. Yes, the dice poker deck. Okay, moving on to the next one. $350. Are you crazy? Are you going to spend $350 on a video game? No, sir. You're going to pay for all these other goodies that you can get. Everything we mentioned before. Plus, you get a collectible Palladium logo metal coin. Oh my God, I cannot talk. Is that the new logo?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. This new logo, if you haven't seen it yet, again, I will show that in a little bit as well, is awesome. I actually really do like the new Palladium logo. I think it was very well done. Whoever came up with that, good job.
That was Sean and
Southeast
TransPerfect.
Asian Fiber.
Yep.
He thought he wasn't going to let that go. Dog with the bone, sir. Dog with the bone. A glitter boy statue. You know what? People are like, "What coalition flag? I want the good guys." Well, guess what? Now you get your glitter boy statue. What's better than a flag? A statue.
Of course, according to Spreadshirt, it's a Gundam.
No. The glitter boy looks nothing like a Gundam.
That is fair.
That's what I say too. But there you go.
Look, to backtrack here, in Spreadshirt's defense, I did a search for any type of mecha. There are none. You cannot battle mechs, mecha mechs, power armor. They just blanket it all and say no. So at least they're consistent. Glitter boy statue, is it painted or unpainted? How does that work?
It'll be painted.
Is it
thank God.
computer, plastic? Is it aluminum? Is it titanium? Is it uranium?
It's a PVC. It's a PVC figure, highly detailed. It's based off of Kevin Long's original art from the original book. It's the most detailed and correct glitter boy figure ever produced by us, and it'll be. Hopefully, be more chrome than silver. We haven't seen the final finished version yet, but
I would
it
hope
looks
so
pretty
too.
freaking sweet.
It's got a gleam. It's got a gleam, or else it doesn't have the laser coating. Jeez.
Just pour some glitter on it.
Pour some glitter on it. Hey, there you go. Whatever. It's fine.
That works too.
Well, I'm glad you're painting it, because if somebody wants me to show off what it would look like if I painted it, you may as well go outside, roll it in the mud, run it over at the car, bring it back in. Oh, Max painted that one.
See, mine will look better because I would just spray paint it, but it'd just be one monocolor with a red light on the chest.
There it is.
Nice. What else we get? We get Glitter Boy metal dice set. Now, wait a second. Is that on top of the ley line dice? At least if I'm reading it here, it is.
Yes, it says all previous rewards.
Okay. And then, wait a second. Dead Boy and Burster fire dice sets.
So you get all the dice sets.
Heathen Dog's already chomping at the bit for those Dead Boy dice.
I already added it to my pledge.
Okay.
I have a little mini marketing thing I created. So I created a slogan at the bottom of it that shows off the Dead Boy dice, and it says, "Fear crafted, coalition approved."
Nice. But look at this, 17 items here. I'll even click all of that. You get all those items on there. Let's move on to the next one. All right. How nuts are you? I don't know, Max. How nuts are you? $1,000 physical rewards. Join the cast. I got questions about that. All previous rewards plus become an NPC with a custom portrait. Who's deciding what the NPC does?
I would think Sean.
Or
Okay.
like I said,
Or Kevin.
With that, I'm downgrading my pledge.
I'm just causing trouble.
I don't trust these guys, so I will now be dropping my pledge down a level because I know they're going to put me in there as something weird.
Some kind of elf.
Everything's weird.
Some kind of elf.
Touche,
You'll
sir.
be a-
Touche.
You'll be a happy Greckletooth.
There you go.
Well, one guy in a game, Shout of the Avatar role-playing game, put me in there as an elf because he knows I hate elves.
Oh, jeez.
So there's history. It's a Romulan, not an elf. Somehow it got ported to that game. I don't know what happened.
We're not
No,
going
we're
to
trying
use
to
you like
do
that.
nice
We'll find
things for
completely
our
different ways.
players. So we'll make you something good. We'll make you a dog boy.
All right, that goes to the TMNT theme that I like.
I know.
Wait a minute.
Oh, you're a furry, got it.
As long as I'm not serving him.
Oh man, you know what? Hang on. Just to be a dog boy handling you is almost worth that $1,000. It's like it's that
And we'll
close.
make it happen.
It's
I
that
would
close.
like to point out, and this is for our viewers as well, if you'll notice, it says you can split your payment into 4 monthly payments once the campaign completes.
Mhm.
So you don't have to pay all of that up front. If you can chill out $250 for 4 months in a row, then you can become a member of the cast.
I cannot endorse buy now pay later stuff. I can't do that. I don't like it. It's bad for most people.
Well,
Yes.
and normally I would agree. However, one, this is a crowdfunding campaign, so there's a huge amount of time between when it ends and people get their product. So they're waiting anyway, right? On top of that, it's only splitting it into 4 payments. I'm not a big fan of the whole like interest accrual thing that happens with that. There's no interest on this. It's literally just the same amount broken into 4, making it easier little chunks for people to get. That's it. And now, if they don't get that fully paid off by the time the rewards start going out, they're not going to get the rewards. They'll get refunded.
Oh, okay.
There's
no interest if you miss a payment. Okay, good. All right, fine.
Yeah, this isn't one of those nasty. Okay. Yeah, not a fan of those. We would never have endorsed it if that was the case.
That just makes people more poor. That's all that.
There's a theme in chat. Just saying, like multiple people.
Heathen Dog is
a Heathen Dog not like shifters?
Okay, no shift. Okay, someone needs a timeout. Someone needs a timeout.
Did I just poke a bear? What's going on here?
Let's
keep going. Let's keep going. And finish talking about the pledge levels, and I'm going to find out about this shifter phobia from Heathen Dog later.
You can actually just watch the last time Kevin and Sean were on.
Great. Anyway,
let's go back to that. Let's see. You become an NPC with custom portrait. Your name listed in the credits as an extra. Extras don't get credits. That's awesome. An anniversary edition Rifts RPG signed by Kevin. I already have one of the. Wait, no, I have the anniversary. No, I don't have the black one. All right, that'll add to my collection. So
that one. All right.
Oh wait.
Yeah, you should have this.
Yeah, I do.
Is it signed by Kevin?
I'm going to check right now.
If we got it through the Christmas grab bag, it probably is.
No, I didn't used to do that until recently. I didn't want people's signatures in my book, and this is back when I still didn't do signatures. So I guess I will just have to get a new one that actually has an autograph in there. That book's worthless.
Wow.
No, that's re-gifted to someone else who doesn't know the joy of life.
Yeah.
There we go.
Legion of Myth now officially backs blatant consumerism and waste.
So anyway, you get a lot of good stuff. I mean, let's be honest. This is also something, because I've had people send me messages like, $1,000, that's crazy for a game. The point of $1,000 is to show support. That's all it is. And you get a little perk for it. Is anybody in 30 years going to remember that Heathen Dog was a shifter in that game? No. Like that's
except Heathen Dog.
Except Heathen Dog. He'll be thieving still.
I'll still be in therapy.
I'll still be in therapy for that. But the idea is to show support and then get something as tangible as can be out of that. You can look in those credits. Anytime you hit that, let me watch the credits button. There's your name if you're some sort of weird narcissist like that. But you can do that. That's what it's for. It's not saying that the game costs $1,000. It's your idea to say, hey, I'm supporting this. Yep. Which leads us to our next one. This is where the crazy people start. This is all I'm saying. $2,500. Like, you could buy a used car, I think, still maybe for that amount of money.
No.
You can't?
Not that runs.
Not that run. Okay.
Right.
No. You can buy a crashed car for that much, but not one that runs.
Fair enough. You'll be listing the game's credits as an associate producer. What do producers do? Nobody knows. Well, now you just did it. There you go.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
You receive special memorabilia signed by the creator of Rifts, Kevin Simbita. What kind of memorabilia are we talking about? Is this stuff like that's just collecting lint in your garage?
Yeah. Is this like underwear or a sock or something? Because we don't want that.
God, I'm not Japanese, dude. Stop it.
Flex Steel. I can sign that for you.
I would love
Gorilla Glue. You get a signed copy of Gorilla Glue.
It's got my actual DNA.
there
it is.
The funny thing
about
about
a
this
clone of Kevin Simbita.
is if I was backing any other project, that would piss me off, right? I mean, all legitimacy. But if Kevin were to do something like that to me, maybe not the saliva part, but I would actually be like, okay, this dude gets it. He understands. He gets me. Okay, that was funny. I got his Gorilla Glue. Like, I don't know. There's something kind of funny about that. Of course, I'm sure the people out there be like, no, that's not funny at all. So what kind of memorabilia are we talking about?
Cool stuff. Posters from the past, maybe a negative, maybe a piece of artwork.
What about the?
Don't
Don't forget the.
No one wants to be coy with $2,500.
There's also some of the old physical stuff. Remember from the original?
Oh yeah. It's there's a bunch of stuff put aside where you get some. I don't have them handy here. This was a cool luggage. I've actually used these for 20 years.
Luggage thing.
It's a luggage Rift's Promise of Power luggage tag.
There's the physical CD that had the original game in it.
What else was there? There's a bunch of DVDs that are the original trailer from the. Thank you for reminding me about this stuff, Jeremy. Like I said, I don't know which one of us has been drinking, me or Max, because
Yes,
I'm just kind of out of it today for some reason. But there's a bunch of cool little things like that you'll be getting. I mean, and they are cool. Along with a few other things that we can toss in there, and because we wanted some of it to be a surprise.
Okay.
But yeah, we have that brochure and the luggage tags and the DVD trailers.
Nice.
and then art and all kinds of fun stuff.
And art, you can't get freaking original art anymore. So even if it's a quarter page or a half page illustration, that's something special. So it's tough. Everything's digital these days, or costs a fortune. I mean, original art costs like a shitload these days.
Mm-hmm. And then the one I missed. Apparently, there's one more. What would you do, Keaton? How much would you guess if you already want to throw more money out there than $2,500? What would you guess the next one would be?
Money? What? Probably $5,000.
$10,000.
$10,000. What does $10,000 get? That would buy me a working, decent used car.
Yes.
What does that get me?
Well, you become the ultimate benefactor. And by the way, only one person can get this. Only you can stop forest fires.
Yep.
All previous rewards plus listed in the start screen as the ultimate benefactor. It means everybody has to see your name.
Everybody has to see your name if they're playing the game.
Yes.
Kevin, I swear to God, if someone buys this and the game has the ability to skip the start screen without this name being shown, we're gonna rumble.
Oh no! We're gonna force everyone to have to watch that.
Yes,
no.
Everyone must see this.
It's gonna flash like the TransPerfect Palladium Books logo, and then it's gonna show like this ultimate benefactor, and then
as people are hitting escape or enter to try to bypass that stuff, nope, sure, it's right there.
Sorry,
ultimate benefactor, Heathen Dog.
Yeah, you paid $40 for this game. You didn't pay $10,000. Shut your mouth.
Right. This is ultimate flex going on right here.
Right. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Help us create a custom character included in a game. Wait, so can we have something other than the Elemental Fusionist then?
Yeah, no Elemental Fusionist. It didn't say take away.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Are we adding to it?
Yes, it'd be adding a new character to the game.
Not an actual character, not class, but an actual
character.
Custom character. Okay, I got it.
Yep.
Okay. That's a little better. I'm like, wait a second. I talk with these Rifts folks, and I'm not sure they understand that Rifts really does kind of have some limits. Try them once. Special care package from the LC. I told you it's a sweatshop. I've seen those movies from the elves at Palladium Books. And
those are the minions that work for the Lord of the Warehouse.
That includes my personal Rift's Promise of Power press kit
Oh, wow.
Got some different posters, and I did a drawing, and I actually colored it with the classic dragon head drawing, but I colored it in Prismacolor. That's on the notepad inside the press kit. And press kit's got some extra posters and the only luggage tag that has a black hanger. And then you get a really cool piece of original art. You get like 7 or 8 negatives, one from each one each from early books, like Source Book 1 and Source Book 2, Mechanoids, and et cetera, Vampire Kingdoms, and some other cool stuff. So,
well, you actually forgot one thing. I'm sure it was an oversight, but you actually forgot under the benefits of this pledge is that invitation to any kind of press or launch party to do with this game if it successfully gets made. You forgot that. You forgot. It's okay. It's all right.
He's writing it down right now.
Yeah, you can add it in later. It's fine. And of course, lasagna at your house. That's actually, you forgot that one too.
No, we wouldn't have lasagna at his house. There's a better place for it, like the same side of town, though.
Oh,
we know a couple of really great Italian restaurants.
I want handcrafted Kevin lasagna.
I don't know if you do.
You're starting with flour, mister.
There you go.
Kathy Simmons, sure. If Kathy was still around, that would be an easy one. Be like, come on down. She loved cooking for everybody. But I don't think you want to have my handmade lasagna, since it would probably be my first handmade lasagna.
Well, my mom just taught my wife how to make her lasagna, so I get it from my mom and I get it from my wife, so it's gonna be hard to top that. But we can find out. I do want to put to reiterate this. So, who is that amount of money to waste? There are people out there. If you like something, if you support something. Here's one of the things. I used to do the same thing, and I'm not by the way, I'm not busting his balls on this. This is a prevalent thing that I've actually heard when people saw $2,500. What are you, crazy? That's why I made the comment that I did before. This is about support. Now, I understand that he's saying, who has that kind of money? Yeah, there are a lot of people who don't. If you don't go blowing $10,000 just to get your name on a video game.
No.
Right.
Pay your bills. Do
that. Yes, absolutely. We were actually thinking it was probably more like maybe a podcast channel or some other business who wants to have their name right up there when it comes up. Palladium Books presents Rift's Promise of Power, and then
Crazy Joe's used car a lot.
Crazy Joe's used car a lot.
There you go, Legion of Mythers, you legionnaires out there. Let's pool $10,000 together and get Legion of Myth on there.
Ultimate backer.
Not Glitter Boys, and who else? Who else was promoting Rifts at one point? Oh, I can't remember. Oh, AJ Pickett, not him either. It's all about Legion of Myth. We got to beat him out, and then we'll start a bidding war where it'd be 10,000, then 12,000, then 22,000.
No, shut up! Dude. Why are you making it harder? No. Man. Less words, please. No, people who spend $2,500. $5,000, $10,000 on stuff like this are the same people who, upgrade their hotel room to a suite because the shower head is better. These are people who understand, who have it so much money that they use it for convenience, for like minor convenience, and it's worth it to them. These are those are the people that we're actually shooting for here, not the, if I eat ramen for 6 more months, I can do that. Like, no, dude, not you. No.
Back at something reasonable that you can afford, get the things that you love, that you're going to benefit from in it, the dice, maybe the Glitter Boy statue, stuff like that. Don't break yourself over the support levels.
No, don't.
Although I'll tell you, it's not always just someone who has more money than they know what to do with. It's
right.
In previous crowdfunders that we've done, it's often just a super fan who wants to have that honor of seeing his name in there and knowing that he helped us reach another level of support, and we appreciate those people. I know a number of folks who have pledged in the past, high numbers. We've never had a pledge that high. I don't think we've ever had 5,000. It was Turtle. I think Turtles was even only 3,500 or 5, something like that. But we thought on this, it's a video game, and it'd be lots of copies, and that your name would be up there forever. And so we thought, why not give it a shot? See what happens.
Okay. New plan.
Uh-oh.
All right.
500,000.
No. Hang on. Everyone watching, instead of donating to this backer kit, donate to Legion of Myth. We will use all that money. And if we get 10 grand, we will buy it. And it'll say Ultimate Backer Legion of Myth. And then the official Palladium forums and Palladium Discord will not be able to talk about the game because they're not allowed to talk about it.
Oh my god.
That'll be awesome. I want that so bad.
Oh my god.
Moving
that's
on.
I love trolling trolls. You have no
I know,
idea.
it's great. Oh.
For the record, I'm not trying to cause any grief between us and anybody else.
For 10 grand, I'll cause all the grief in the world.
Fair.
And Max, yes, you are. You're just being nice about it.
Yeah.
I'm the
It's okay.
subtle one.
Yeah, right.
So where are we now? Did you just call me out like that publicly? Dang it!
What?
First day here, and it's like he's been here for years. Like, what the hell?
I told you it's Rogaine Sean.
We come from the same generation, I'm sure.
Fair. So available add-ons. So let's just arbitrarily say, for whatever reason, like I can only afford $1, but I want to get some stuff. Well, guess what? You can click some of these things and get some stuff. Now, just a question for you guys: are people going to select these things up until the backer kit closes, or how do I say this? Or there's usually 2 points. There's one where you collect the money right away, and then there's one where, hey, we're done. Like the Turtles is done now, right? There's kind of that gray area time in there. At what point can they no longer add stuff to their pledge?
So with most campaigns, right, the campaign itself will end. And then you go into you either call it late backing or pre-ordering. It's the same thing, really, right? But there's usually a time where it's like, all right, we're still developing things. That money's now going towards doing X, Y, and Z. But until then, you can come in and start pre-ordering some of the elements and whatnot. And I imagine we'll probably do something very similar to that.
So you probably have at least a few months.
Yeah.
To decide what you want to get.
I want to be very open. It says it. A lot of people don't read these things. I know this from backing Kickstarters and Indiegogos and backer kits and whatnot. People don't read. The planned release for the game is 2027. It's in there in black and white. They're not hiding it from you. They're not lying to you. So I don't know when you're going to get charged, but just give everybody, sense of the time frame here. We're in 2025 or in June 2025. Game isn't planned to be released for 2 years if this all comes to fruition and works out. So be a little patient. You got some time to think about what it is that you want. Probably not 2 years, but you have some time to think about what you want. Get some money together, upgrade that pledge a little bit. It all works in your favor and Palladium's favor as well. And by their favor, I mean they can make the product, because we haven't even got to the stretch goals yet.
Right.
Design in progress. Do you want me to show those pictures that you guys sent me of the dice?
Sure.
Okay. See if I can. Where did I put that?
I mean, if you want to, you don't have to.
Oh, there. That wasn't it. Which one's the dice? Here we go. This is all 4 of them. Get back over here.
Hey, that looks familiar.
So we got those are the different dice cans.
Yep.
And inside them, I thought we actually had. Here we go. This one actually has dice. Boom. Oh yeah. Now I looked at this dice pool and I saw it. I said, "Oh, it's not a complete dice set, like you said." But if you look at the text, get the 9. I was in right there. I know this sounds weird to some folks, but this is one of the first things I. Yeah.
It's so uncommon they couldn't find artwork for 9.
Correct. You're not wrong.
Which is it just drives me nuts. This is the only way you used to get dice sets were 9.
Yes.
So,
Oh, I used to get them where they had 4 6-sided dice.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
2
yep.
10s, and
Yep.
then everything else.
I've got it. My favorite dice set actually has as well the 10. I agree with that. I've also seen some that have 3 6s and 2 20s. I'm cool with that as
Right.
well. Yeah,
Yep.
but 3 6s is mandatory. Just saying for all the people who make dice out there.
Or
So
Agreed.
I'm. What's that?
The cube.
Cube of 6s. There you
all
go.
the 6s.
But I'm going to go with this other story. That because I chewed Sean out about this when it came to TMNT, that you guys fixed it for this one. That's my story, and that's what I'm going with.
There you go.
So that was the Burster. Where's Heathen Dog's Layla? No, Heathen Dog wants the Dead Boy. Is this
I
Dead Boy?
got the Dead Boy one, yeah.
Oh, wait, that's a Glitter Boy. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you passed up the dead boy.
Oh, yeah, I did right there. Dead Boy. Look at that. I already have, because I played Necromancers. I already have a lot of black and red dice. But guess what?
Too,
I'm gonna have more.
I got a set of the black and red too, but I wanted the
crafted,
10.
coalition approved.
Coalition approved dice.
Fear crafted. That just if they're fear crafted, does that mean they're also weighted to like roll 12s?
Yeah. or hear me out. They will be.
But that gives you. There's one I didn't show. Which one didn't I show? Leyline.
Leyline Walker.
Yep.
There we go. If you like glittery
that one
dice,
was cool. Yeah. The whole like crystalline, see-through, blue, purplish. Yeah.
well, it has that leyline look, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
By the way, again, I know dice are simple and people like to do maybe little swirls or over-design them. First of all, these dice aren't over-designed. I can't stand dice that you can't read because they're so over-designed. So this is awesome, but they have enough features on here that they make sense for what for your faction. We'll call it that. This one's interesting to me. So these are metal plated. I don't know if I've ever rolled metal plated dice before. Does that chip?
Well, it's a little heavier than regular dice, I imagine, because they'd be plastic on the inside.
Yes.
But I've had gold-plated trophies that chip after time. Stuff like that.
That's what you're talking about. Well, gold is
notoriously
soft and crappy metal.
Yeah. This is not like that at all.
No. I thought you meant do they chip or
table.
scratch your table?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
You
they
need to be
will,
careful
depending
with
on
them.
your table.
That's why you need to get the playmat.
Yep.
Fair enough.
And but they're awesome. They're very similar to what we did with the shredder dice, which are amazing. I love those things. They're fantastic.
So you are going to go on record to say that these dice are immune to the Palladium peel.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That was good. By the way, we actually had on Discord somebody post a message saying, "Hey, I need pictures of the Palladium peel," because he was giving some of his older Palladium books that he's replaced to a younger kid, and one of the people in the family was like, "Oh my God, what is wrong with that book?" And we're like, that isn't even a real Palladium peel. That's just the start of the Palladium peel. Here, let's show you some stuff. So we ended up taking a whole ton of pictures of our books that have the Palladium peel on it. It is not a Palladium book if it can't have the Palladium peel. That's awesome. I mean, it's just one of those things that we talk about. We don't look at it as like, oh my God, those books suck. No, that's what happens when you use the book for a long time and often. Works for me.
Yep. Yeah, that is a book that is well used when it starts doing that very familiar peel back.
Yep. And you know what? Yep. Notice we don't call it the Palladium rip or the Palladium page falling out or it's the Palladium peel. I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah, most of the stuff still stays together. Like the book does not fall apart. It just, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just the lamination on the covers eventually will start to peel.
I can't find my original source book, but right here, right on the edge here.
Yep.
That's where it starts. That little peel right here. It's where it starts on the edge. But this book is like 30 years old, and I've had it for most of those years.
I was saying, like, you got the mercenary book. You've had that for a while.
It's got every page, and the binding is completely intact. Nothing's coming apart. It's just Palladium books. After a while, the edge right here, the lamination starts to come off. Now, has it ever come completely off? No.
My TMNT one went pretty far where I actually had to cut it, and then I have some book tape over the cover right now. That kind of replaced that. I think my Ninjas and Super Spies was the same way too.
This one is starting. My Riffs World Book 2 is starting.
Well, that means you have to replace it. Go buy a new one. On sale right. Oh wait, that's a Dimension book, isn't it? No, that's a World Book. It's on sale right now.
Yeah,
Go get it. All right. Anyway, we showed off some of the dice there. You can add these on here. That's a dice set again. Poker deck, which I'm guessing we don't actually have any real graphics of it. I'm sure it hasn't been fully designed yet. Got it. Right. Coalition flag. Is this it? Does it not say Coalition States on it?
I mean, maybe it will at the end.
Okay.
If that's what people want. I mean, right now, I think it's just the image.
The top Coalition, the bottom beneath it States or something like that I can hang right here. It'll cover the Legion of Myth pretty well. It'll go right there, and it'll be perfect, and I'll be happy.
He's gonna wear it as a toga. Poster Rift's Promise of Power Reforged.
Yeah.
I like that one. My favorite one, though, is actually the one that Jeremy's using as his background right now.
Oh, with the Coalition marching up the hill. Yeah, that's a nice one.
Where is this?
That's
there we go. Yeah, I like this one a lot.
Yeah, this is one
and
of
I'm
the
not
better
even the
ones.
Coalition fanboy.
No.
That's his job.
No, that's me. You know what I call this picture?
What?
The moment backup arrives. That's what I call this picture.
This is how much I'm not a Rifts person, and you all are gonna laugh at me for this. I thought they were Borgs at first. I was like, oh, there's some cool Borgs on there. And it said Dead Boy armor. Like, Dead Boy doesn't sound like a Borg. Oh, that's Coalition.
Well, no, it's understandable because the Dead Boy armor was made to be scary. And full conversion Borgs are scary.
Uh-oh. What just happened?
I don't know. You did bad things.
You got logged out.
All right, let's just see what's going on here. Why am I logged out of sign in? I've never been logged. Oh, God. This is going to be two-factor authentication nonsense, isn't it?
Okay, Franz said, my Phase World sourcebook has a Coke sweat all over it. It's still going strong. Okay, hopefully he means soda.
Oh.
Wow.
Because I have heard of people who are on the other kind of Coke that their heart rate goes up and all kinds of biological processes. I'm not getting that.
Well, to be fair, he did say a Coke sweat, not Coke sweat. So maybe we can read.
Well, hey, maybe he had to differentiate because there have been so many times.
All right, I don't know. That was just Windows acting weird, doing what Windows does. So I apologize. There we go. We've kind of looked at a lot of the goodies there. Let's hit our stretch goals.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So things we want more of. All right, so share the word. Okay, at 700,000. So that's basically you just get the stuff, right?
Yeah, milestone.
Rift Ultimate Edition role-playing game cover art print. So even at the core level, we still get a milestone, or I don't want to call it milestone. Well, he calls them milestones here. A stretch goal of the Rift's Ultimate Edition role-playing game cover art print. Can we get the other one instead?
Which one?
Splugorth with the
with the blind warrior women. Everyone wants that one,
right?
Come on,
you know how many people have told me that that's the reason they got into Rifts? I was like, what? Over a book cover? Like, that's funny.
Yes. The blind warrior women are, how do I put this delicately, very well drawn.
Yep. Well, and that version's the newer one, right?
Yeah, that's the newer one. I'm talking about the actual one. Very, very well drawn.
No, that's the actual one. Yeah.
It's the same art. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. The same art. Yep.
I just happen to have the 30th anniversary edition because I wasn't cool enough to play Rifts when it first came out. Milestone 2, all new modern soundtrack. Now, this is what Kevin was talking about before. The original soundtrack was limited by storage space and a mobile speaker system. Ew. We will commission an all new high quality soundtrack, original but loyal to the legacy of the first. Backer levels that include downloadable soundtrack will get the original and this new soundtrack. So if they hit this milestone, you get bonus stuff. Look at that.
Yep.
I don't know anything about the original soundtrack. The video game soundtracks are usually something I turn off in a game. There's one caveat to that. And anybody who knows. MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries. I don't know what it is about that one. Everybody who's played any of the MechWarrior series that knows that one knows that the MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries soundtrack, for whatever reason, is just absolutely amazing.
That's cool.
Well, then maybe this one will be too.
Maybe it will. Not sure. Well, actually, no. Some of those songs would work, especially during combat. Yeah, I think they'd work great. At 900,000, high definition portrait upgrade. Well, let's see. They got these portraits here, and where are the originals? Wait, are these the originals? Oh, here we go. These Promise Power character portrait samples. So these seem to be the originals.
Yep.
And then these are upgraded. Yeah, this dude right here looks a million times better.
Well,
yeah. And the glitter boy doesn't have a giant lamp on its head.
The headlight.
I just noticed it. Stop! Stop!
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they're like where if it were the 1950s, you'd be able to see a human brain in there. Yeah.
That's what it struck me as too.
Okay. Oh, we got even
the Robo Glitter Boy.
A graphic overhaul. So not just changing the faces, but now side portraits. Complete graphic overhaul. This is where the fun begins, folks. Instead of merely upgrading the original in-game portraits, we'll completely overhaul all of the game's art assets. All. That's italics. That means they're really emphatic about all. Portraits, character art, sprites, terrains, animations, special effects, etc. To match the tone and style of the Rift's cover paintings in high definition. It's a big goal, but it is worth it. I'm surprised you're able to, if it's 700,000 for the game, I'm surprised you're able to squeeze that in at 1.2 million.
That's what they told us we could do. So,
as somebody who was a graphic artist and works next to programmers, I'm just going to still say I'm surprised. Not that it's not possible. I'm just surprised.
Well, and again, part of it is, we are trying to make this achievable.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they want to make it achievable too. I mean, we have a really great relationship with TransPerfect, and they've been amazing to work with. They're fans of Palladium. They're fans of Rifts. So, are they giving us a special discount? Could be. Because we all want to see this happen.
Yes, we do. Retro graphics toggle. In case for whatever reason you're nostalgic, you can go click that button and say, I want the old crap. There you go.
Yep.
To be fair, I actually do that on some games that I kind of grew up with, where there'll be like the high res version, and I don't know. There's just something that's too good about this. I have actually been known to downgrade some of my games like that, so I get it. I don't want to sound like I'm poo-pooing it because I do get it. Port to Nintendo Switch. Oh, good luck with that. Leveraging the strengths of Unity Game Engine, we will port Rift's Promise of Power Reforged to the Nintendo Switch gaming console. Is this the Switch 1 or Switch 2?
It would.
All of the Switch 1 games, from my understanding, are playable on Switch 2.
Yes.
I have a couple of friends who got the Switch 2 and have sent them back. I don't know what the deal is. Apparently, Nintendo did something really weird that I didn't pay too much attention to. But I know there are a lot of people angry about the Switch 2 right now. Maybe somebody in chat can put what the reason for that is. I just, like I said, don't pay much attention to, especially console games, because I despise console games. PC Master Race. That's where I joined the coalition. When it comes between console gamers and PC gamers, I'm on the coalition PC side.
Yep.
Why is the PC the coalition?
Because the PCs are the good guys. That's why.
Or that. I don't want to alienate the audience right now.
Jeremy's under the impression that the coalition have been the bad guys all along.
They are. It's from a certain point of view.
You don't even have to sift this stuff. No, you don't have to do that. They're the good guys.
No, they're not.
Humans good, aliens bad. That's all you got to know.
Gamer Talk is going to be coalition, good guys or bad guys. We're going to have a great debate. First it was Sean and Heathen Dog, then it'll be Jeremy and Heathen Dog. I'm loving this.
I am down for any podcast you guys want to do to talk about the factions and their moral ambiguity.
That's awesome. No, here's the thing. It's kind of a meme with us right now where, maybe Doug actually believes this. I should actually have some conversations with him behind the scenes. No, we actually made a couple of videos understanding that the coalition mindset, not saying it's good, bad, or otherwise, but saying if you're this kind of person, you're definitely going to see them as the good guys. Human nature in the past has literally proved that this has happened over and over and over again. And people act like, oh my God, I can't believe you side with Nazis and fascists and blah, blah, blah.
So would you. Given the circumstances of the world, so would you.
Right. It's one of those things where it's like being able to understand the bad guys, what makes them really good bad guys. They're complicated. They have depth. They're amazing because of that.
I always loved Skeletor because he beat on his own people like so badly, and they took it, and it was funny.
Okay.
He would badmouth his own people so bad, I'd just laugh.
Right.
Just remember,
great.
The Rebel Alliance were the terrorists. Just saying.
They were technically terrorists.
Moving on here. Somebody asked this question earlier, so here's your answer, sir or madam. Port to PlayStation at 1.5 million. There you go. Port to Xbox. Wouldn't Xbox be easier? I don't know. I don't know what language you're using to code the game, and I probably shouldn't do that.
At 1.7? Oh, come on. It's a lot easier to do than that. Come on.
Yeah, but nobody we don't like pretentious Mac users or pretentious Linux users.
I'm not going to upgrade to Windows 11, so I'm going to go to Linux come, when Windows 10 software stops being updated for me.
So
what's wrong with pretentious Mac users?
So when I was a graphic artist,
God.
Yep, he opened that can of worms.
He's got his Mac pride flag going.
When I was a graphic artist,
there it is.
all the people that I had to deal with. Now this goes all the way back to the 90s with that RISC processor and all that nonsense. Yeah. Oh, you're not a real graphic artist because you use a PC. You don't use a Mac. What?
Oh God! I hated those people so much.
Yeah, well, they're like Ohio State fans. They're just often wrong. Then it moved into the whole thing where it's like, then it turned to the RISC processor. And it costs like $5 billion to replace that RISC processor or to get memory for the stupid thing. I'll stick with PC,
right.
Thank you. It's just one of those things that over the course of time, I just kept that hatred going because it keeps me warm at night.
My thing, because I did a lot of graphic design work back during that time, and I worked on a PC, and a buddy of mine had a Mac, and you're talking, Mac OS, pre-9, right? So 8 and 9. And when he'd be working on something and it ran out of memory, he'd get the little bomb error and everything's gone. Whereas me, my computer would freeze up and I'd be like, I don't know, get some coffee real quick. I come back, it releases the resources. I save what I was working on. Oh, look at that. I didn't lose everything I was working on for an hour. Fuck you.
Yeah. No, you're good here. My only issue, actually, I like Linux and I would use Linux. My only caveat is I don't have the time to always try to find drivers and so forth. I don't want to deal with that. So I don't want my computer to tell me what it's going to do like a Mac, but I also don't want to have it completely free form where I have to figure everything out with it. So unfortunately, Windows is that sweet spot. Otherwise, I would be with Heathen Dog on that.
Yeah. But yes, I'm currently on a Mac.
We all know that real graphic artists use Amiga. Well, not anymore.
Amiga.
Hey, Amiga at first day, man. Come on, Amiga was great. The Sun Spark systems. That was.
Yep.
All right, let's get back to what we're supposed to be talking about here. Maybe we're drinking too much. Additional languages, Western, because Western is a language in the Rifts universe. No, it's French Canadian. So Mr. Max Boivin will be able to enjoy the game. Spanish,
French, yes.
French Canadian,
Latin American, Portuguese, because we all know that's just gutter Spanish, and Russian. Потому что мой говорит по-русски. Спасибо вам.
Yarmakovka.
Let's see. Port to mobile devices. Again, nothing but, leveraging the strengths of Unity game engine, we'll port Rift's Promise of Power Reforged to iOS and Android. Now, I haven't used Unity in many years. I have a question, and I'm not trying to be a jerk about this. When I was using Unity, I literally did a checkbox. It would verify the code, and that was mobile capable. Is that different now? Again, I haven't used it in a few years, so it might be different. Or has mobile technology moved to a point where to go from 700,000 to 2.2 million.
So first off, you're talking a different interface though. So there are some UI elements that have to be completely reconceptualized.
Okay.
Right? Because when you're dealing with mobile, you're dealing with a full touch screen. You're not
Sure.
dealing with a controller or any of that. So all that has to be designed in as well. So we've got to make sure that work is done. As far as the backend code, I'm sure that is still insanely easy for Unity, which is why Unity is such a really popular platform. But things have gotten a bit more complicated. I imagine that one probably a little harder than just checking the box nowadays, but not by much.
That's fair, and I don't care if somebody in chat says, "Oh my God, you just showed your ignorance." So you're right. I'm not a programmer. I have done a little bit,
right.
And I haven't used Unity in years, and I made little dumb games. I didn't make games like this. That's why I was asking the question. So,
that's a good question.
Now, for 3 million, you get top secret Chinese information.
That's
where Sean is right now.
That's where Sean is. Yes, he's in Southeast Asia because it's easier to smuggle things. Come on.
This live stream's never going to be able to go live. That's great. We're going to have a video out of this one.
Smuggling, directly to U.S. costs a lot of money. Smuggling to Laos and then getting a slow boat from Laos to some port on the northeast part of the U.S. super easy.
My next email to Kevin.
How he would know that, I don't know. But
well, he's apparently in cahoots with Sean right now.
Apparently.
I'm going to send an email to Kevin in a couple weeks saying, "Hey, are we looking forward to the next gamer talk?" And Kevin's like, "No, I'm really not."
No. I had the Laos government call me, so no.
Again, awesome new logo. That does not look like Kevin.
No,
anymore.
That is Kevin's younger brother, Tommy. Tommy's indeed.
I have noticed that when I try to get recent pictures from these guys, it's like, oh, hold on, we got this one from a convention that's all like I can't use that.
Yeah, it's like, no, scroll back up. That is something Kevin would now put on, say, Tinder. It's technically him, but it's him from like 20 years ago.
Is it 20?
That is a dating app picture right there, my friend.
It's like 17 years old. Yeah. That's like a 17-year-old
You're
picture.
technically not lying. You're just stretching the truth.
I will say there's a difference to me.
It's not quite catfishing.
Not quite catfishing. Kevin, in this picture, I see lasers coming from those eyes. Like, how dare you, sir? I'm smiling, but beneath these eyes.
Yeah.
Kevin down
not
here.
reaching your eyes in this one, Kevin. You look very angry at the person taking the picture.
Like, I gotta do
angrier
this.
than that.
Like, he's like, why am I having to deal with this?
Yeah, right. Yet Kevin on the live stream is much more joyful. All right, let's keep going on here. This is Shane Neville. Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Neville.
Yep.
Neville Chamberlain. Okay. And he was the one that worked on the original?
Yep.
Is that a 20-year-old picture also? Because he looks pretty young.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Is this a 20-year-old picture of Sean? Well, we got Sean Redux down here, so yes.
Yeah. Well, it's pre-Rogaine, Sean. Yeah.
Okay, Sean. Reforged. And then, okay, we got TransPerfect Gaming. We've got Chris Chamberlain, Nicholas K. The reason I'm mentioning some of these names, I don't know who these people are, but I know a lot of you who have sent me messages over the last week or so know who some of these people are and what they've done in the industry and so forth. So I want to get the names out there so you can go, oh yeah, I know that guy. He worked on such and such project. Charles Porter.
Yeah, Charles
Ryan
Porter, the one who
McDaniel.
slaps everyone around to make sure that they get things done.
He's young enough to slap these old guys around yet. Well, anyway,
I mean,
Yeah.
especially if all these pictures are like Palladium
20 years
pictures and
old?
you're 20 years old. Yeah.
No, theirs are all pretty current.
Oh, dang it.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, notice he doesn't have the tie on. He's ready. He's like, okay.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, if I wear a tie, that's something an enemy could grab onto. No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ryan McDaniel. And there we go. Okay.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun, but let's get back to just a touch of seriousness for a moment. Let's first, okay, computer, stop acting weird. We're at 132,644 because we were at 300 something earlier. So we bumped it up a little bit. I already know that folks have told me, oh, Max, I've already backed it. I'd love to support the channel. I already backed it. You're going to support no matter what. And you're not here to support the channel. You're here to support the project. So that's the first thing. So just get the word out. If you've already backed it, get the word out. If you want folks to see how much fun Kevin has when he comes here and how much he regrets it afterward, why he's turning into an alcoholic and why we're going to make Jeremy an alcoholic here soon. Send this video because it's going to be clipped into a video later for this portion of it. Send it to them and let them see what they get from the game. Have them watch the 8.5-hour live stream that Kevin, for whatever reason, decided to stay on that live stream for at least 7 of it.
Man, you are really hurt by that, aren't you?
No, because I have to tell people, like, why can't your live streams be longer? It's like, well, Kevin and Sean have a business to run. They have things to do.
We do.
Yeah,
and I was
right?
on there for 7 hours because we had something to promote. We had something
Boom.
to.
Better than us, dude. Let it go. All right.
I'll say this: that was my first ever public stream ever, and doing an 8.5-hour marathon for my first one was wild.
I used to start
And
my
let me
stream,
tell
my
you,
Friday
Sean-
streams. Sorry.
Sean lied to us and said it'll be 3 or 4 hours.
Like,
And I think what really happened was Sean hadn't slept a lot. So I think he had
You wanted
no
to spread the
concept
pain?
of what time it was, how long it had gone, and he just kept going.
Going.
And
Well,
we were like,
let's be honest. That's every stream Sean is on.
Yeah, that's completely on brand.
That is on brand. All of my streams that Sean has been on go long. I don't care. The people around me, for whatever reason, do. I used to run 10-hour streams on Friday nights. I'd start at 6 and we'd go for 10 hours. It'd be like sometimes like 4 or 5 in the morning. Be like, I got to end the stream, guys. I'm really tired now. So that stuff doesn't bother me. But I do get it. They've got a business to run. It also gets late. People have bedtimes. I'm getting kind of old now where it's like I kind of actually like to go to bed at a normal time. So I absolutely, get all that. But 14 hours is my record. Really? No, 24 hours is my record.
Well, no, I had to jump in there a couple times. Come on.
No. I did the first one I ever did. I did actually, it was Twitch only. I did 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
That was the first one. And then I said, I'm never doing that again without a nap. So
my longest panel talk at a convention was 9.5 hours.
oh, Jesus. Did you get a lunch or something in there? A massage?
It was like,
Did you get a bottle of pee in? What?
I was just, it was a smallish convention, and new people kept coming in, and people kept coming and going, and I just kept going because the convention organizers never came to tell me to shut up. And then later I found out that they were like, well, you were just seeming like you're having so much fun, and people kept
I
coming
was
to see
dying
you.
on the inside.
I have permanent bladder damage because of you.
Anything else that you guys want to get out? Anything I missed? Anything you want me to show? Anything you want to talk about? I do have a couple more questions, although I think you answered most of them that came from the Discord and so forth. But anything else that you guys want to address before we move on to some questions and chats?
If you are thinking of mortgaging your house and investing in a cool thing, this is it.
Oh my God.
No.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
don't do
No,
that.
seriously, we appreciate any pledge of any size. And again, it's been weird because the feedback we're getting from people is that they're super excited about this and hope it succeeds. And the real trick, I think, is just getting the word out there. So if you can help us do that, that would be great. Stick with us and we'll see where it goes.
Okay. Jeremy, anything you want to add? Or
No, you guys have been pretty thorough. I'm looking forward to the next barrage of questions, actually.
all
Roger
right.
Questions. Oh, he's
Well,
gonna,
let me hit these super chats first because they go back a little ways here.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so this goes, hey, Kevin, friend point out. Okay, so we did see that. So this is the first one.
Yep.
Yes, I'm a huge Sanderson fan, and he follows that up with, and Brandon Sanderson himself said that he played Riffs. Well, there you go.
Nice.
That's worth it right there. Brandon Sanderson just created his own game. I think he was like either the biggest or one of the biggest Kickstarters ever for his own game.
Yep.
So thank you, Cosmonaut, for the additional super chats. I really do appreciate that. All right. you want me to save these for you, Heathen Dog?
No,
No. I actually started this one.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting thing because I've heard this comment multiple times. I got it as a couple Discord messages, and now we see it here. So I'm going to bring this up. If there's no playable demo, then please make one. It's necessary. Now, before Kevin and Jeremy jump in, I'd like to put my 2 cents in here, and then they can tell me how wrong I am. This is a Kickstarter, or it's a crowdfunder. I'm not sure that a demo is something I've seen. I could be wrong about this. Anybody do with a crowdfunding game? Like on Steam, sure. After the fact, sure. But I don't think I've ever seen that in terms of a crowdfunder. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No. But before they answer, I got something to say about this. Now, yes, a demo is really great. That's if you have money to begin, because what this project is doing is taking an old, outdated format and revamping it to something that can be played on the PC. Now, the problem with that is it's a whole, chicken before the egg thing. You need the money to make the port, but if you have to make the port to get the money, then you can't win.
Right.
So you can't even make a 15-minute demo or anything weird like that without actually doing the work beforehand, but you need the money to do the work beforehand. So that's probably never going to happen.
That is absolutely correct. We thought about showing gameplay with the original game, but and showing other art assets from the original game. But the problem is, it's a 20-year-old sprite-based game that looks like a 20-year-old sprite-based game. So we don't want to give people the wrong idea.
On any screen bigger than 2 inches, it's going to look like crap because it's made for a screen smaller than 2 inches.
Exactly.
So, I got something for that. Thank you to Jeremy, if I can find it here.
That'd be cool to show. I know what you're thinking.
If I got to remember where I saved it. Here it is.
Yep. I knew you were going to bring that up.
Boom.
Yeah, cool.
So And Jeremy, thank you for sending that. I'm glad that comment came up because now I can show this. By the way, in all fairness, Full Metal Dragon did also send it as a super chat as well. So thank you for the $2, sir. But yeah, so you're looking at the different aspect ratio right there of what's the differences between the N-Gage, which one tells me the N-Gage for a small device actually had pretty good graphics.
It did. Yes. It was cutting edge at the time, and they spared no expense on making a top quality mobile game.
The problem is where they spared the expense was marketing.
Yes.
I can't really go there.
I can because
marketing the device, maybe not the game, but the device, because the device obviously didn't last. There you go.
I'm talking about the device, obviously, yes.
So so here's the thing, and this is just my opinion. And I know the N-Gage people, the Nokia people don't agree with this, but that's okay. I felt that because they spent buckets of money to develop the N-Gage and to promote it, but I think they promoted it poorly. At the time, Nokia was a phone company, and so they encouraged their customer base, the various countries that were marketed, because it was marketed worldwide. And the Nokia people were wonderful, including I actually got to meet one of the top dogs from Finland, and we just hit it off. In fact, it was funny because had the N-Gage taken off, I would probably be visiting Finland on a regular basis because we have this great meeting, we had this great talk, and he turns to some of the other people and go, "I like this man. Next time we have meeting in Finland, you invite him." And it was like, wow, awesome.
Did you get to go play with the reindeer in Finland?
No, I didn't. Everything tanked after that. But so the problem was they marketed it, in my opinion, they marketed it as a phone that also played games. Well, the problem is the N-Gage was so cutting edge that when people thought, well, my flip phone plays games. I can play Snakes and Tetris and whatever.
Bejeweled.
And it didn't realize that you could play, Sonic 2 and Spider-Man and, every popular game at the time that there was on the frickin' N-Gage. And they really needed to promote it as a game platform that was also a phone. In fact, I personally envisioned a commercial where you had a little kid, like a 10 or 12-year-old playing his game. Because it was the first platform that had Bluetooth and multiplayer capabilities, hence the N-Gage and the N-Gage Arena. And it was all genius. It should have been one of the top selling game platforms in the world, in my opinion, because it was brilliant. But they didn't market it right. So I always pictured having a kid playing his game, and then it rings, and he says, "Hey, hold on, Johnny," and he presses the phone, and he answers it, and his mom goes, "Who are you talking to?" He's like, "Johnny," and she's like, "Oh, next door?" And he's like, "No, in California." And then you get the idea. Maybe you see a cut screen, and you realize, oh man, this is awesome.
He's playing on the N-Gage Arena with someone in California, and he's talking to him on the phone with the same device.
Right,
oh
exactly. And today it's like
orgasms galore. It could have been that, but now.
And then I would have had the background just filled with the 60 or 70 or 80 freaking games that they were doing, which was everything that was hot at the time. But they didn't, and so in the individual countries, they would let the country market it whatever way they wanted to, but they would strongly suggest that you sell the N-Gage as a phone that also plays games.
Yeah.
And in 2005, Spain broke that trend and marketed it as a game platform like the
Game Boy.
Game Boy. That was also a phone. And surprise, surprise, it outsold the brand new Xbox.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
And I happened to be there when that news came in, and the higher ups went, "Oh, that's great." But it's a fluke.
Okay, so the lesson we take away from this
is even
that
sixth largest company in the world can make mistakes.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's just that never trust Finnish marketing. They may make good products, but they can't.
I don't know. My Nokia stock's doing okay.
So that was my feeling, and the other mistake they had made, and they were aware of this because they thought about actually changing the name, is they were so excited about the N-Gage because it really was revolutionary for its day. That and everyone else in the industry, and we're talking when there were still magazines about electronic games and that kind of stuff, the whole industry wanted to see this thing, and they should have just waited like another 3 or 4 months when they had the fully finished product done. But instead, they sent them the bug-ridden prototype. And even though they said when they sent the bug-ridden side-talking prototype,
okay. Bob the Builder had to repair it. No, damn
it. They said, "Hey, we know there's tons of bugs in here. We have found them all. They're all gone." All anyone had to say about the N-Gage, because they sent the prototype, was that it was a bug-ridden piece of poo-poo.
Garbage.
And that didn't help them either, because everyone's perception was this game platform stunk. And it was a shame because the game platform was amazing for its day. And they really did find all the bugs, and it really was this nice looking, fun to play and use as a phone device. But they kind of shot themselves in the foot, and then the follow-up marketing shot themselves in the head. So, it was just, a double whammy that they couldn't really survive. And it was too bad because like I said, the people were nice. The game designers were great. I had a wonderful time on that PR tour, European PR tour, where we hit like 4 or 5 countries, and I got to see the Louvre and some other really cool stuff. And it was great. Shane was sort of my buddy on that, and we just had the greatest time on that European tour. And but yeah, it's just, and again, this is why we would love to bring back the game, because the game is really cool. The people behind it, who designed it, who wrote it, they put their heart and soul in it. Think about it. As disappointed as we were at Palladium that the game went nowhere, what about the guys who had put 2 years of their lives into making this great game that the world never saw? And so that's another motivation for us to try to get that game out there so people can go, well, that Shane Neville and this guy and that guy and the other guy did a great job. Yeah, they did. Enjoy.
With that in mind, and this is again me showing my ignorance because I don't know how this whole system works. What is TransPerfect, if anything, because they might not have responsibility to, but what are they doing in terms of getting the word out, advertising, sending some of their people to go talk to PC Gamer, for lack of a better word? I think they're still around online, but whatever, like to talk about some of this.
They've reached out to a number of contacts that they have.
Okay.
They're the ones who have turned us on to the people who can make physical product. A physical game, I should say, because we have other physical product. So no, they're helping a lot. And plus these guys are super busy. The company is huge.
Sure.
They were on, when they said, oh, we'll be on your live stream, we thought, for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and they were on for like an hour. And they spent extra time doing this stuff. We were like shocked that they put in so much time and effort for us. And, they've been doing a ton of work behind the scenes. I mean, they're setting up all kinds of stuff for us. And
well, good. Hopefully their software context, because obviously we're small fry as it is anyway, but even in the tabletop RPG hobby, we tend to know our own, so to speak. Hopefully them having the video game reach out there will definitely get you guys on some streams to talk maybe more about the tabletop side as you're promoting the game side as well.
Well, I think that's one of the weird things that's happening is I think tabletop channels are looking at it and going, well, it's not really a tabletop thing. It's a video game. We don't do video games. And video game channels are going, oh, hey, it's a tabletop RPG. I don't think our audience would care. Like even ICV2, which, I've known the guy who runs that for, God, most of my life. And he loves Palladium and supports Palladium whenever he can. And they haven't done anything on us. And I asked Alex about it, and he goes, well, they don't do video games. And so I think we're falling into that weird area.
Yeah, I had that problem too. With where the original Legion. Yeah, he's smiling. Yeah, the original version of this show was the Legion of Myth live stream, and I did anime and tabletop reviews every other week. I would switch.
And Al did comics.
And Al did comics, and it didn't work. Well, no, the tabletop stuff worked pretty well, but there wasn't apparently an overlap between people who like tabletop and people who like anime and
which he still doesn't believe, but I
still don't understand why. I don't understand why, because I like them all, and everyone around me likes them all too. But that just supports the idea that if you live in an echo chamber, even by accident, you can be fooled into thinking reality is different than what it really is.
Yep,
correct.
And that's just the way it is. I mean, I guess video games and tabletop, they share a more separate space than we initially thought. There you go.
They really do. I'm sorry, Max. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, go ahead.
But yeah, they really do. And in fact, when people talk to me about we should license a video game and turn it into an RPG, it's like, so you're going to have better luck at role players are more likely to try a role-playing game based on a video game than video game people are likely to play.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yep.
And I get it.
One way, the other way. Yeah, I get it.
So, I think tabletop gamers, they're into all kinds of games, but only to a point. And in video game players, I think, are very much just, I'm into video games, man. Yeah. And that's what I do. Yeah. And tabletop, I've heard of role playing. What was it? Yeah, D&D.
I want to play on slow mode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I get it, and I think we're bumping our heads into that, and that's why Sean and I realized that to some degree, which is why we wanted to make sure we had some really cool add-ons and rewards that we thought both sides might enjoy, but especially tabletop players. but we'll see. You know.
Yeah, one of my issues is that since about, we'll just say the year 2000-ish, I find that too many tabletop RPGs could be computer games. And I don't like tabletop RPGs that play like computer games. I know we could name some right now that are very indicative of that, which is one of the reasons why I like a lot of the older school games, and definitely one of the reasons why I like Palladium. I love it when people are like, how would you put this in a VTT? I don't even think you could. I'm like, right, use your imagination, dum-dums. But the flip side of that is so many people nowadays, they want the VTT, they want the squares or the hexes, they want the computer game, but in this format. I'll just be honest with you, I don't get it, but I know whether I like it or not. I'm in the minority now. But too many, I don't like tabletop RPGs that play like computer games. If I want to play a computer game, I'd play a computer game. If I want to do something that is more flexible and tailored towards, imagination, I'm going to play a tabletop RPG. Now, the interesting story with this is, Kevin, you said a moment ago that people play computer games don't really get into tabletop RPGs as much. And I think I agree with that. I'm a tabletop gamer first. I played tabletop games before I played computer games, I think. Pretty sure. But Mutant Year Zero, I'm just going to use that as kind of the one little exception to the rule. I did not know in any way, shape, or form that was a tabletop role-playing game until I played the computer game. And I was literally playing the computer game. Man, this would be a really cool role-playing game. And then come to find out it is one, and that started my love with the Free League, the franchise, and so forth. So that it can happen. You can have that unicorn out there, but I generally think that you are right, is that, that adrenaline rush of the computer games is just different than that overall. I don't even know how to say it. Just
higher level of satisfaction.
Well, I think it's more immersion than it is that. There's dopamine versus immersion is the way I kind of see it of a tabletop role-playing game. I could be wrong, but that's just how I see it.
When you play a video game or online, you are playing as another character. You're seeing it. That's a definitive, right? You don't own that, but you're experiencing it. When you play a role-playing game, you're playing a character here that you own. Now you're a part of that interaction, that immersion, as you called it, right? So it is an absolutely completely different experience.
Yeah, well, yeah,
both
but
are fun.
As we all know,
exactly.
WotC is trying to find a way to own the character in your head.
Don't even get me started.
Well, with that,
and Darrington Press isn't starting off very well either. So any attempt to break away and become not WotC is becoming WotC. Just come to Palladium, everybody. We're good.
That's right. Palladium is where it's at. And you know what? You can claim to be.
That's an excellent tagline. Not WotC, bitches.
That's like Cleveland saying we're not Detroit.
Talislanta.
You can't go with that.
Well, it's like Talislanta. Still no elves. Why do you think I own Talislanta? Still no elves. You get my money. But I forgot what I was going to say. No, I'm just going to go on to the next chat. I was going to say something there.
Okay.
So Darth Theik says Kevin should charge Heathen Dog an additional $100 for his pledge. He's going to charge us both like an extra $250 just for the time for being here. It's like, you know what? Those goods. We're just going to count your pledges as for services rendered.
There you go. I like that. I like that idea.
Kevin Sullivan says Kevin's Gorilla Glue is only funny in context. Right, and that's the thing, is I would have an awesome Discord story like, Kevin sent me Gorilla Glue. This is the most awesome thing ever. Nobody else would like it, but I would be like, that was freaking amazing.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Well, I've had people request like all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, my favorite, and I've talked about this in the past, though not in recent years, is with the Christmas surprise packages, you can ask for whatever, and you give us a list of your wish list of ideally books that are in stock and other product, and we make a selection out of your 12 or 15 list. We send you 4 or 5 items depending on their value, and one guy says, I would like Kevin's left shoe. And I thought it was pretty funny. And he had some whole little weird thing on why he wanted my left shoe. So I grabbed a pair of my old, at the time it was Reeboks. I grabbed my old Reebok shoe. I signed it, of course. And I happened to have a form for certificate of authenticity, and so I made it priceless. Because how do you put a value on an old shoe that no one can wear anymore? It's priceless. And sent it. He loved it. He loved it. And then when that story got out, just like 3 or 4 years later, someone wrote in and said, "Can I have Kevin's left shoe or right, whatever the opposite?
Right shoe. I want the other shoe. I know you got it."
And I did actually. I still had the freaking shoe. I don't know why. And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I did the same thing.
Shoe. Yeah, you two guys, you're now friends.
You're not friends.
You literally need each other to go places.
Can I have Kevin's glasses and his retirement fund?
Oh my goodness.
All right. But yeah, again, the fact that, I think that's weird. And if I didn't know Kevin and he sent me Gorilla Glue, I'd be like, dude, what the hell? Did you just grab some crap off your desk? Like, hey, people, like, this isn't. But I know Kevin, and at that point, to me, that'd be fun. That's why if he puts me in.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
In context, it's hilarious. Let's move on here. Dana McCarthy says, by the way, she posts a lot of comments on our Palladium videos. She's definitely a Palladium fan. That's for sure. There are a couple pieces of original Rifts book art that would tempt me for $2,500. Well, maybe secretly send Kevin a message through the contact form and say, this is what would get me to back at $2,500. And he might ignore that. I mean, yeah, I hear you out.
It can be arranged, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Screen Monkey says, is any attempt being made to link up with the video game audiences such as the video game Preservists?
Preservists.
Oh, whatever. Persevere, preserve. I don't care.
I don't know if we reached out to
jelly, jam, preserves. None of it matters.
Again, I'm not a video game guy myself. Sean and Jeremy and Caleb are more on that front. I've never heard personally of the video game preservists. I'll make note of it and look into it, but I appreciate the tip. But I don't know if they're one of the companies we reached out to. I would assume not.
Well, that's the cool thing about folks in chat right now. They're fans of various different channels, various different, especially, for us, more tabletop RPG, but includes video game channels and so forth that they can sometimes, and this is what's happened with me and some other people that we've talked to, start small, go to those, channels that only have 100 subscribers as long as they're active, but then all of a sudden it gets bigger and bigger. So that's why we appreciate Kevin coming here when we know there are channels out there that have many, many, many more subscribers than we do. But we try to help get the word out and just start small and grow. And I know Kevin understands business, but for the folks out there, what the hell? Why is my ringer on? Excuse me.
Pro streamer people.
Message from the Air Force. The fact that my ringer was on should catch everybody by surprise more than anything else. Air Force message. Are we having storms? Okay. Apparently we got storms.
I think the last time he talked on the phone was when I called him last year.
The Air Force wanted to let him know about his used car warranty.
Yes. By the way, we have a shirt out there about talking about your 50,000-year body warranty. I'm just saying. For necromancers. So where are we next? Nerdy Ogre, thank you very much for being a member for 21 months. Squirrel Hermit, you are awesome, dude. Squirrel Hermit sent me a couple of Rifts books. Isn't that weird? Somebody sent me Rifts books. So thank you, Squirrel Hermit. He's redoing his collection and so forth. So, it gives me the hand-me-downs, but I was happy to accept them. Thank you, Squirrel Hermit. I will spread the nerd word. That's gonna be the call sign from now on.
I see what you said.
Yeah, if you spread the nerd word. Yep. And hopefully you succeed beyond expectations. So thank you, Squirrel Hermit. Squirrel Hermit's a good guy. And Polyrobotic. Kevin, when is Rifts Antarctica coming? Oh my God. When is Rifts Antarctica coming out? The only supernatural creature that loves humans.
No. We have to reword that. Jeremy. When is Rifts Antarctica coming out? You're supposed to be helping here.
Yeah, Jeremy.
I mean, Sean is busy replenishing the workforce that you're supposed to manage right now. So
he's replenishing the elves.
Well, and I'd like to point out the only supernatural creature here that loves humans. That's debatable.
I don't know. Well, it'll be. This is Rifts we're talking about. It's not going to be much of a debate.
That's true.
And who says they love humans?
Okay,
I kind of
How about
implied it
this?
in
How about
our
this?
8-hour.
Let's reword it a bit. Not instantly wanting to kick all humans in the ding ding.
I guess.
I
There
mentioned
you
it
go,
in our marathon live stream when I was describing Riffs Antarctica. And I don't know. It depends how much time I get to bang stuff out. I'm kind of been working on that and Yinsloth Expeditions. I want to try to get Yinsloth Expeditions done so we can have it at Gen Con for Palladium Fantasy, and then Riffs Antarctica is the next book I work on. So
He's here too.
this fall, maybe.
So when you're talking about trying to have more time, it's a good idea to turn your head a little bit and talk over there, so you're pointed somewhere. So you're actually talking to somebody else.
Oh,
When are we getting?
There,
these-
yeah, about like that. Yeah.
when are you gonna get me more time?
Yeah, there you go.
Where's my hammer?
This is
Well,
great.
let's be fair. When somebody's in training in the OJT, right, it always takes extra time because you have to give up your time to train, and that person.
Fair enough.
Yep.
You got 30 days.
Although Jeremy's a pretty quick
Study.
yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, but the more you say that, now we're going to expect stuff tomorrow again.
Oh
And
no.
he's
Thank you, Doc Flamingo, for
We'll talk about
being
too
the-
much.
Okay, let's get this back on somewhat of a track here. Do we have a track? I don't know. Wow. Okay. Actually, this is kind of what I wanted to say earlier. I remembered it now. Palladium is both old school and new school. If you're like, well, I'm only in old school games, well, guess what? There's a lot of old school in Palladium, from how the books are written to what you can do in the game, to the fact that it gives a lot of GM, we'll call it, like the word I like to use is framework, but a lot of GM fiat, so to speak, on there. It wants Heathen Dog's world to be different from my world and so forth. But it's also a lot of new school because it includes a lot of rule of cool, as the kids like to call it nowadays, and a lot of ideas that are just and Heathen Dog shirt. We have a new version of that shirt. We have a new version of that shirt that actually has a train and four characters tied to it.
Strapped to the front. Being railroaded down my storyline.
Yeah, there
I
you go.
need that shirt so badly.
You can buy it.
It's on our Redbubble store. You can also see
Okay.
you can also see the new
versions on
Giga
there,
Damage shirt that's there. So honestly, Palladium has something for every generation of gamer. It's got stuff for the story gamers. It's got stuff for the more, well, I don't know. You guys really don't go into hex crawls so much, but you can make your own hex crawl. There's enough oh my God, literature. There we go. Words. Enough literature out there for you to make your own hex crawl. You can do all of that with Palladium, and you're not doing it wrong because nobody can figure out Palladium rules anyway.
Nice. I'm actually working on a hex crawl campaign for my own Rift game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is that just for your own thing, or is that something that you might publish in like a Rifter?
No, that's just for my own thing for now. I mean, if it
Rifter. These Rifters are huge now. That'd be something. No, and I'm dead serious. Unless there's something in a Rifter that we come along, hex crawling, and dungeon crawling. I understand that those might not be Kevin's favorite things, but that's something that's actually asked for a lot.
I'll make word of that. If I come up with rules that I feel hold to that level of quality, I'll run them by Kevin and Sean, and who knows?
All right. Okay, so got a couple questions about crowdfunding in general for you guys. Now, these are a little on the serious side, but, I promised that I'd ask them, so I'm asking. So why the decision to start a new crowdfunder before the previous one, TMNT, was fulfilled? And do you think that this hurts your launch at all?
A and B.
don't think so.
Okay.
I can,
That was
yeah. So everything's at the manufacturer. We weren't going to do this until all of our stuff on our side for Turtles was done and off to be made. That was our cutoff. So we made sure, okay, this is happening. It's out there. It's gonna get to our crowdfunders' hands. We're good. Let's go with this other thing. There are plenty of companies that run multiple crowdfunding campaigns like not just back to
At
back.
the printer.
heavily-
At the printer. I'm sorry, Jeremy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. So this isn't unique. We're not doing anything wrong.
That looks nice.
This is actually a great time to do it.
For the record, Kevin,
I understand the question. I understand the question
I do
because
too.
Absolutely.
all of your
Yes.
fans have just given you money for this. Now you want us to give you money for something else. The short answer is yes, but the long answer is okay. Maybe there's some merit in the question. Why so close
sure.
together? Yeah.
well, there are three factions in the, we'll just call it Kickstarter, the crowdfunding mindset. I will never crowdfund anything. I'm not, if I can't touch it, I can't buy it. I'm not getting it. Okay, understand. I mean,
Then the crowdfunding's not for you. Then if you're
Right,
that person,
exactly. I don't necessarily like it, but I understand it is the way of the future, and it's something that I still get to pick and choose what I back. So it's, Then there are the people who have been burned by Kickstarters. Luckily, I haven't really been burned. The projects that didn't come to fruition for me were small projects that I didn't put a lot of money into. So I haven't been fully burned by some people who, doesn't matter who the company is, when they see that something isn't in a hand, you're doing something else, they're like, oh my God, it's a grift. It's a grift. Oh my, Again, I think they're too emotional about this. Yeah, there you go. But at least I do understand where they're coming from, even if I don't agree with it. And then there are those of us who understand that crowdfunding does two things. Well, from my perspective, one is I'm backing something that I support. Two is it might not come to fruition. And depending, I don't think Kickstarter does this anymore, but you used to lose your money when you did that. Nowadays, I think they refund your money, which is good. So I'm doing this to support, and I know there's never in my life been a Kickstarter or a crowdfunder that's actually been accomplished on time. Never one that I've backed that has been like, it's going to be done in August, and in August I got my stuff. Just it hasn't happened.
No,
But some people get really, really particular about that. You've got to understand what this venue is, what the medium is, and calm down a little bit. It's going to be 2 years for the game. I'm projecting 3 years if this gets funded. But that's just how I do it in my own head, because I know that there are always delays for whatever reason, usually legit.
And also, anytime that's mentioned in every Kickstarter I've ever backed, which I've done a lot of Kickstarter, Backerkit, Indiegogo, you name it, it's always, this is our projected expectation of release. And then they give, here's the transparency of where it's at. Okay, it's getting delayed. Here's why, blah, blah, blah. And you just kind of, the ball does get kicked down the road a little bit. But
That's a very important point, though. That transparency, that's what will piss people off more, I think, more than anything else. If you're transparent about it, remember, everybody's a Monday morning quarterback. Well, that isn't true what he said, because I work with people like this and what they say. Look, you're not. You know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, I see it even where I work. People talk about the military and the government all the time. I'm like, I've spent 32 years working for DOD, and you're trying to tell me you don't know what you're talking about. So people have opinions on this stuff. We get it. But ultimately, I trust these guys. They fulfilled Titan Robotics. We're getting Eternals. And Kevin, I don't know if I'm angry about this or not. Actually, no, I'm excited about this. Those books, those generic cover books, look better than the artwork that you submitted for it. If you hold those books up again, they're brighter. They are I don't want to say more contrasty, but they have. There's more oomph to those things than the artwork we were even showing. And that's the basic artwork. That was absolutely fantastic. And I cannot wait to get those things in my hands.
Yeah, I don't care about any of this. I just want my dead boy dice so I can start drilling into them.
Nice.
Von Zark can teach you how to put lead in them and then seal it back up so nobody even knows that you he used to do that in high school.
Yeah, that's really hard to do with this metal covered liquid filled nonsense. No, I want dead boy dice that I can load and have the coalition win. That's it. If you're not cheating, you're not winning.
Jeremy.
Ancient ninja rule: if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Rule number 2: don't get caught.
There you go.
Well, Heathnug doesn't care if he gets caught.
No,
he gets caught all the time.
There's no stigma on success. You're winners, technical winner, cheating winner. The adjectives don't matter. The main word is winner.
There's only one first place.
Exactly. Second place sucks. That's why it all sounds the same.
that artwork looks really awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. The reproduction and we knew it would be, we thought it would be, because we just didn't pick any company. We picked a company that can do beautiful work. And the books are just fabulous. And I wish I could teleport them into everybody's hands right now. And we just can't. But they are coming and they are beautiful. I mean, truly beautiful. When people get them in their hands, they're going to go, oh my gosh. I mean, we wanted to have them. Well, hell, we wanted to have them last year for last Gen Con. And then we thought we'd have them this year for this Gen Con. And, crap happens. And it's like, damn it. But, we're not going to rush stuff out to be garbage. We want it, especially since people have had to wait an extra long time. We want them to be magnificent. So when you get these books, you're going to be like, holy crap. It was worth the wait. They're fantastic. They're fabulous. I'm going to love these forever. And in the case of the Turtle books in particular, I mean, there's 40 years history for me there. I mean, the Turtle guys came up the same time Palladium was. We were close friends, still are good friends. We wanted these books to be magnificent for them. We wanted them to be magnificent for our gaming community. We wanted them to be magnificent for any Ninja Turtle fan. And they will be because they are. Hang on. I wish, we'll have samples at Gen Con to show people, and there'll be QR codes that people can click on to get pre-order, probably at a slight discount. But we can only make our manufacturer go so fast. And, and I know people were like, well, so when are they coming? When are they coming? You might have a couple of those in your box. And it's like, if we could give you an exact date, I would, but we don't know exactly yet. So when we know, you'll know, but it'll be this frickin' year. I hope as soon as frickin' possible. So
Thank you, William.
And William, thank you for backing the video game.
That's good. There are a couple out there who still hadn't backed it yet. That's all those messages, man. I got a whole ton of messages like, why are you covering this again? We already backed it. Because you want to know more, and you've got friends who haven't backed it.
That's right. Strong arm them.
See, this is about TransPerfect specifically. You've actually talked a lot about them, and actually every other question I have in here is this is the last one I've got has been answered by you guys at some point. So, do you have some examples like games, companies, projects, whatever, things that TransPerfect has done recently to showcase why you guys think that they're the best partner for this product?
Well, again, some of them we can't tell you about because they're in progress, and Sean could probably tell you more about what they did. I'm not a video game guy. I can tell you just personally working with these people, they are top professionals. They just do the best quality work. They've got our back. We had an issue with a particular item, and it just didn't turn out right. And they said, well, don't worry, we're gonna get this other person involved. And we're like, but we couldn't afford that guy. And they're like, don't worry about it, we got it covered. I mean, that's just,
it sounds like video game mafia. Like, don't worry about it, the family's gonna take care of it. You don't worry your bloody little head about it.
And that's why we're working with them.
That's why you're working with them, because they own half the company now.
So it's $700,000 of protection money.
You need protection, Kevin. What could possibly happen to your store? So I don't know, but we can help you out. We're TransPerfect.
That's right. We're TransPerfect. No, and they just get us. We have similar philosophies, I think, when it comes to quality. We work really well together as a team. They've just been a great outfit to work with. Hey, Chris, thanks.
Thank you, Chris.
In terms of maybe possible other rewards, I think I don't fully understand this question. so I'm just going to ask it as is, but I thought we talked about this. Is there going to be an adventure book based off of Promise of Power? There's some sort of book that was mentioned.
Well,
There's no plan to do one now, but I mean, you never know.
Thing in one of the rewards, wasn't there?
But, that wasn't an adventure book. That was an anthology.
No. Oh,
Yep.
anthology. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the word, so now I'm remembering it. So, I mean, I get the
It was
point.
an analogy apology.
You got this adventure that starts here, goes there, goes there, goes there. I mean, something like that could be actually pretty fun for folks to, like, almost like the Rift's adventure guide. Like, how do I put something like this together? Let's see the flow, in more of a tabletop format. I could see that.
Sure.
And then this is a long one. Jesus. In the Machinations of Doom graphic novel by Ramon Perez, there's a large section in the back of the book that provides game stats for PCs and NPCs that appear in the comic, as well as quite a bit of lore and backstory on the plot and the characters. Is that something being considered for Promise of Power Reforged game?
Something having a tabletop character write up for some of the main characters in the game. That'd be fun.
Well, again, I can say that right now, no, we have no plan to do that. But as people make suggestions and stuff, we always listen.
That's the $3 million secret stretch goal.
Oh, there you go. I forgot Heathen Dog is in the loop.
He's on
I'm
the
the
list.
one that put these together, Kevin. Why isn't it me? I did
Because
nothing.
he brought it up.
I let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah. All right.
Now TransPerfect's gonna come and fix my little red wagon.
I was going to say, you better be careful because TransPerfect will have to have a visit and a little talk with you.
Well, we've got a problem. It's a good problem, but it's still a problem nonetheless. We technically have 2 more topics to get to, but our time is theoretically over.
What's the two subjects?
2 other topics were, now I did intend to do this pretty quickly, but was to quickly show off the Savage Phase World. And then talk about how you run games for 20-some people.
We can skip that first one.
Well, we can keep
no
the
love
first
from
one-
Heathen Dog.
keep the first one brief.
Okay.
We haven't been doing a lot with Phase World lately, and Sean knows the guy at Star Anvil, as does Jeremy, and he does good work. And he asked to license Phase World from us, and we said, yeah, because we know he'll do quality work. It's pretty much as simple as that, and he's got big ideas for some big adventure books. And again, I just want to remind people that even though it's for the Savage rules, the characters, the new gear, the new adventures, the new source material, it's all easy to adapt to your Rifts game. So if you're looking for adventures in the 3 galaxies, this could be great while you're waiting for us to come up with something for it. Check this stuff out and enjoy.
Okay, Jeremy, anything you want to add to that, or?
I've worked alongside Star Anvil a few things, and amazing company, great guy. I'm really looking forward to this.
Okay. Awesome. Do you have a couple of questions people posted for us? Actually, I should probably read this because we're a little off topic for just a moment. Squirrel Hermit for $2. Thank you very much. A genuine labor of love does not happen rapidly.
Truth.
It's nice you realize that.
I had to grow up a little bit because I used to be like that back. I'm 51 now, almost 52. Oof.
I think you're older than me.
I hear that a lot, but you know what? Kevin's older than all of us, so there.
That's right. I'm older than everyone.
That's fine. It's okay. He's Kevin.
That's not a bad retort. I'm just a nobody. But is that that I don't want to call it instant gratification, but this idea, like, I gave you money, where's my stuff? Hey, you announced something that I'm really excited for that I already want to put in my campaign. I've had to get over that over the decades. And now, like, to be fair, I don't even know how Kevin's monetary system works for Palladium Books, but I backed Rift's Bestiary 2 back when it was first announced 3-4 years ago. I hope he doesn't double charge me. But with that said, I'm not sitting here like, oh my God, where's my book? I just recognize I pre-ordered something, and that's just slow your horses a little bit. And remember, these things are a labor of love. We've talked, I don't have to dive into it now, but how many times we talked about how long it takes to get something to print, because Kevin's expectations of those manuscripts are not just give me some text on a page and it looks good enough, let's go.
Right.
And our goal still is to get books that people have been waiting for, and Rift Bestiary 2 is one of those books. And that's exactly what kind of happened with it. Sean said, Kev, I'm going to take this off your hands. I'm going to turn it over to this person, this freelancer.
And then he escaped to Taiwan.
And then he escaped to Taiwan, and the freelancer, fell short, and he's making another run at it. So hopefully it'll be fine. But, that stuff takes time, and, people have lives, and, you can only make a freelancer do so much unless you sick TransPerfect on them.
Well, pledge level just went up from 700,000 to 900,000, but it's worth it. We'll get some books now. All right, let's see. Would Palladium Books be interested in selling past exclusive and possibly future Savage conversion documents with the expansion of Savage Worlds products? I don't fully understand that, but he has a couple of points here. For example, the Cyberworks Titan Robotics one, or any that might come from Antarctica or Laszlo or even Chaos Earth. I'm still confused by the question. A lot of companies opt for timed exclusives. Oh, I get it now. Okay. To not wall off content permanently. It'd be great to free up those for module development on Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, and so forth. Okay. So there are a lot of exclusives out there in terms of if you do the backer kit, yada, yada. Hey, this is an exclusive. How about freeing some of that stuff up? Give the people who back the stuff their exclusive for a year or two, and then free it up over time for others, maybe at an exorbitant cost. Because I'd feel cheated otherwise as a backer.
I think that depends on what exclusive stuff they're talking about. Like for Turtles, the exclusive stuff is done. We'll never be able to re-release that.
And that's contractual. To be fair, that's contractual, right?
Yes.
Yes. But with Risk Promise of Power, there's only two things I can think of off the top of my head that are truly exclusive that aren't
that we couldn't do something in the future. Yeah.
Right.
Now, this is
the thing is, we want to make our exclusives special for people.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I mean, it's something, again, it's something I'm sure we'll consider, but I can almost guarantee you if Sean was here, he'd be saying, nope.
Yeah, and I get that. It's a kind of dichotomy thing. There are certain projects that I backed in the past when I didn't have a lot of money. And I'm like, I really wish I could have got that. Maybe in a year or so or something, I could do this.
Right.
But I can't. And you know what? A great friend of mine once said, wasn't Heathen Dog, but Heathen Dog hangs out with him more than I do. Life sucks. Get a raincoat. and when he said that back in the day, I was like, well, it should be this. Well, a lot of things in life should be. That's just not how they are. And yeah, I miss out on some exclusives for some things that I backed from other projects and so forth. Then there was a phase when I had a ton of money and I could back projects at whatever level I wanted to. And I got all types of exclusives that are now hanging out there. I got 3 different freaking salamandroids from Cyberfrog. Don't know why. But I do, sitting up there on completely unboxed. It's just one of those things that happens. Maybe I'll do it for a giveaway sometime. And now I'm kind of back in a situation where money is a little tighter. I got it, so I'm backing what I can. If I get an exclusive, awesome. If I don't, I don't. And I think Kevin and Jeremy can correct me if they think I'm wrong in this, but I think that's kind of how you have to look at it. They're exclusives for a reason, and if you don't get it, check eBay.
Now, as far as the Savage Risk PDFs, that's all handled by Peg Inc. for the most part. So they would have to come to us to want to do that, and then and then work something with us. But that's entirely in their ballpark.
And to be fair, it isn't live yet. It still says that, doesn't have a date, launching soon. So we don't even know what date that it's going to be ready to go. So hopefully by then hopefully by then you've back Promise of Power, and then you'll have money for Savage Phase.
Right.
And Heathen Dog's putting up. He's still there.
I didn't do. Oh, I guess I did. Now that the Rift's Promise of Power live stream is ending, Kevin, after John Schlow has shown you his TTRPG, your decision on printing John Schlow's TTRPG as a new Palladium Books property? Oh, we only accept the answer as yes when I decide to say no. When you decide, I'm sure. When you decide to say no, it really means yes. So yeah, this is $50. Thank you very much. You're putting words in our guest's mouth, trying to force them into a corner. That's my job.
Unfortunately, my system is not using the Palladium rules, so this would have to be something like Recon that then none of you guys would have interest in, because you don't have interest in anything that's not Palladium. And unfortunately, I'm not plagiarizing from Palladium for this writing, other than looking over the skill list to make sure that my skill list is relevant. But I'm not copying anything from Palladium for this.
No. You are copying things, but you're not plagiarizing. There's a line you're dancing around.
No, I'm not even copying anything.
Dancing.
Palladium skill list is too big for mine, but for my game. But because its skill list is so big, it gives me ideas.
There you go.
Right. But maybe when it's done and Kevin laughs at it and says this is the worst thing I've ever seen, I'll be like, I got an endorsement from Kevin. Buy my product because it's the worst thing he's ever seen.
Put that on the back of the dust jacket.
Yeah, there you go.
No press is bad
from
press.
Kevin Sembita.
Not even filled in star. He couldn't be bothered.
Zero star from
pentagram.
Kevin Sembita. Yeah, I actually had to go into a coma to recover from reading this trash.
I quit my own live stream now. I can't. I'm just getting beat up all day. Last question for Savage Phase World is what were the reasons for deciding to split the Savage Worlds licensing from Pinnacle Entertainment Group, given their history with Sean, an excellent product since he took over and after moving to Palladium Books? I think from splitting it from Savage Worlds to this Star Anvil.
So it really isn't split. So when we always see Phase World and the Three Galaxies as a separate IP from Rifts itself, even though they use the same game system and there's some crossover. So it was simply a matter of Pinnacle licensed the Rifts Earth setting and didn't have a lot of interest in doing Phase World. And then Brandon Verhalen said, hey, we want to, would you mind if I licensed Phase World? And we said, no, not at all. Well, actually, we had a little bit of reservations, and because Brandon's a cool guy, he reached out, and he works with and knows Shane at Pinnacle, the owner of Pinnacle. He reached out to them and said, hey, would you mind if I licensed Phase World? And of course they said, no problem. So he got the blessings of Pinnacle and got the blessings from us. And, Sean's worked with Brandon and, the end. I mean, everything just worked out. It'll be fine. So you'll have, two different companies, in Savage Worlds, that's a, I forget what they call it, but they license their game system out for very little or for free. Or
SRD or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the ACE program.
ACE, okay.
Role-playing virus.
Yeah, Heathen Dog's not a fan of the Savage World taking over everything.
Well, not taking over. They're just doing additional material.
Yep. Nope, not a fan.
It reminds me of when 3rd edition D&D came out and D20 was everywhere. Right?
Yeah.
Savage Worlds is kind of starting to do the same thing.
The difference is I actually like the Savage World system. I still think that the 3rd edition of D&D is the worst system I've ever played of a popular system out there. I even on the D&D side, I know we're here to talk about Palladium books, but I would rather play 5e than 3, at least in terms of mechanics.
I've looked at the Savage World system, and I can appreciate it. I can. I mean, yeah, I don't like Savage World, but I can appreciate the ease of use and common sense type stuff in it. I gotta say, it did well. I don't like it. I just don't like it.
The issue that's I don't know if he's on the exact same boat as this, but the issue that happened with me with Savage Worlds was all of my favorite games were going Savage, and that's all anybody would talk about. They wouldn't talk about the actual core game that I'm used to playing. And
that's part of the virus thing I'm talking about.
That's the virus stuff. And it's like, I like Savage Worlds as a game system, and I love their own proprietary IPs, all the 300 million that they've got. I really do. I think a lot of them are really fun. It's just when oh look, Battlelords of the 23rd Century, now Savage. Oh look, Rifts, now Savage. Oh look, Earthdawn, now Savage. Oh look, even Pathfinder, which I can't stand, now Savage. Like, are you kidding me? Like, stop it. But we have a lot of folks on our Discord who absolutely love Savage Rifts, and this is why we bring it up, because we might not be the hugest fans of that, or we wouldn't run it at our table necessarily. There's no reason to hate on it. And if this is how we're gonna finally convert you to come back to Palladium, core true Palladium, the golden Palladium, and that's what we'll do. All right. What's it? It's almost as if Riffs is classic goth and Savage. Riffs is emo. Okay, that just went really 90s all of a sudden.
That was great. That was great, Walter. Thank you. That made my day.
Yes, same.
Josh, those RPGs now Savage World. No. All right.